Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another stream. And it has been a little while. You're a regular in the streams. You'll know that it has been a couple of weeks since I've done one, or a couple of game weeks at least, because I took a little bit of time off from streaming over Christmas to spend time with the family. But now we are back to business, and I will say there is already chaos this evening. We've already seen a couple of tweets which suggest that some key players could be out. So we're going to discuss all of that in a second. But firstly, welcome. Thank you for being here as always. I've already made my transfers. So very briefly, I've pinned a comment so that people don't have to keep asking, is this your final team? This is my final team for Game Week 19, unless we get some crazy news in the next couple of hours. But I sold Senesi to Lewis Hall. And in order to be able to fund that, I sold Richards to Dorgu. I didn't really want to sell Chris Richards, but I really wanted to get Hall. I do really like Dorgu as well. And I decided to keep Anderson as opposed to keeping Richards, just so that I have bench cover over the next couple of game weeks, because Richards could be fine for this week, by the way. But I know that Anderson, as far as I'm aware, is fit and available. So it just felt like it was worth it to make sure that I should have 3 defenders, so that even if Timber does miss out, and by the way, Timber has been seen with the squad, but if Timber does miss out, I get Joachim Anderson off the bench. So yeah, for those that are listening rather than watching, for Bruggen in goal, Hall, Timber, Dorgu as the defenders, which feels pretty good. And I really like my front 7, Foden, Soboslai, Saka, Cunha, Haaland, Ekatike, Thiago. I've got double United, double Liverpool, double City, double Arsenal, and then Hall, Bruggen and Thiago to finish off the squad. I think the team looks pretty decent. So yeah, basically, I don't have to worry too much about my team tonight. I can just focus on answering your questions. But before I say hello to everyone, I do need to just cover the big news off the bat, and I'll probably leave it on the screen for a little bit, which is that Declan Rice, it sounds like, will be injured and out for this game week. So we didn't see Declan Rice in training, and we also didn't see Declan Rice pictured or videoed in the team walk, which we know happens before the games. And then this account, Gunner Blog, who apparently are quite reliable. I mean, they've got almost 500,000 followers. That doesn't always mean something, but they also write for The Athletic. So, I mean, it feels fairly likely to be true. They said, Declan Rice expected to miss Arsenal's match against Aston Villa tonight after sustaining a knee injury in a 2-1 victory over Brighton. Arsenal are hopeful it will be a short-term absence, but don't want to risk aggravating the issue further. So a couple of things to pull apart. Firstly, we cannot confirm yet if this is fully true. It sounds fairly reliable, but I'm telling you what I'm seeing. It isn't my source, so please don't come back to me if this isn't true. But right now, it seems fairly likely. The second thing then is, how many games does he miss? Because if Declan Rice isn't fit enough to play in this game, which is their most important game of the season thus far, it's clearly not just a small thing. I think they would risk aggravating it if he was okay to start. So this tells me that it's, even if it is small, basically I don't think it's like that small, which is the first thing. Then if it isn't that small, the next game is in a few days. So even if let's say Declan Rice is out for a week, that could be the next 3 games in the Premier League. They've got one today. Like, let's actually get the fixtures for Arsenal quickly, because I'm not sure what days they play on fixtures. So Tuesday, Saturday, and then Thursday. So, I mean, you could end up missing these 2. It's just about, like, in your own squad, can you deal with that? Like, if you can get away with, like, you've got really good squad depth, you're not struggling with injured defenders and other injured players, and you've got 8 good attackers, then maybe you can deal with it. But I do think if you're sat there and you cannot deal with Declan Rice missing, you might have to sell him or make an extra transfer to sell someone else. So, yeah, that would be what I would say on that. Apparently, Rice will be with... Oh, he's deleted that. Anyway, he said Arsenal are hopeful of better news on Yuri and Timber, and White and Havertz also closing on returns. Calafiori remains a doubt. It sounds like, based on what we've seen, Timber could have a good chance. Calafiori's unlikely. Declan Rice sounds like he's out. There was also a video, this is the one, which shows that... I'll turn it down so it's not blazing through the thing. But there was Saka, and then there is Timber. So Timber is at least with the squad, but as per what he said with Rice, like, players do just attend with the squad, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they start, but at least Yuri and Timber is with the squad. So if I was to predict right now, it would be Rice out, Calafiori may be in the squad but not starting, and I think the back 4 will be Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, Hincapié. That would be my prediction as things stand. So there's a lot to cover there. Sorry, just 1 second. Right, so the only other thing to mention then is this, which is a bit strange. Someone random, I've never seen this account or source before. They don't have tons, they've got 2,000 followers. But I see no reason why they would lie. They don't seem to like play FPL. They're just an Everton fan. They've put Keane and Grealish are doubts and Alcaraz is out. Again, I have no idea if this is reliable or not. I have no idea who this person is, but I thought I would at least share it to say if Keane is one of the defenders that you're relying on, maybe again, I wouldn't transfer Keane out in a million years, but maybe make an additional transfer if you're sat there with no bench cover for your defenders. So yeah, that's all we know right now. So let me get now to answer any questions. It's up to you if you trust that. That's absolutely fine. I'm not saying you necessarily should, but I thought I would at least share it. Paul said, oh my God, had a shocker making transfers. I've taken Timber out for Hall and Richard Sadorgu and Van Hecker to Keane. All for free, have 1.6 million in the bank. I don't think that's a shocker at all. No, that sounds fine to me. I don't know why you made the Van Hecker to Keane move. I think Van Hecker against West Ham is arguably better than Keane against Nottingham Forest, but the other two moves seem fine to me. We'll see. Yeah, I think defender transfers are going to be popular this week, Paul. I think you're not going to be the only one. I've already made 2 of them myself as well. Afternoon, Mr. Egg. My bench is Anderson, Krupi, Achempong. With Rice and Keane potentially out, would you do Rice to Gordon for a hit? No. I've actually seen 10 plus Newcastle accounts predict/hope that Anthony Gordon will not be in the starting 11. They think he's been terrible. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I expect Gordon to be on the bench, but I don't know that he gets 90. And I think there is a chance that they do rotate in this game a little bit. So I don't love buying Gordon this week. I would move, like I would prefer, and it's not bias, I just think it's minutes. I would prefer a penalty taking Dominic Szoboszlai to Anthony Gordon, probably if you were going to buy one this week. You could even move a little bit early on Morgan Rogers, I think is also perfectly viable. So yeah. How loves Gordon? How does love Gordon? Exactly. So I kind of do think Gordon will start, but I don't know that he does on a regular basis. So I need somewhere on the screen where I can say that Declan Rice is out so that people don't... Yeah, let me... Okay, what I can do... Can I post links in my chat? I should know the answer to that. Let me grab this, copy link, and let me see if I can just pin this in the chat. Unpin message, right. Declan Rice is rumoured to be out for Game Week 19. Here is the link from Gunner Blog on X. Is it Gunner Blog? Was that the name of the... Sorry, guys, I'm just getting this pin so that when people join... Yeah, Gunner Blog on X. So if you can't click the link, you can still search for Gunner Blog. You might... Oh, you can click the link, I think. Right. There you go. Pin message. Declan Rice is rumoured to be out for Game Week 19. Here is the link. So people can click that. Does that work? That works. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I absolutely wouldn't include Declan Rice in a wildcard draft for sure. Look at Fabrizio. Did Fabrizio also post about it? Yeah, but he's just posted because he's seen that. I doubt he's actually got a source. There's nothing from Fabrizio anyway. Why am I looking at Fabrizio? No, there's nothing. Don't know why I was looking at that anyway. Yeah, and then like I say, there is this random account that has tweeted this, but it's up to you if you want to trust that or not. I probably wouldn't trust it too much, but at least make sure you've got a little bit of bench cover, basically. Rice is orange flagged, so not rumoured, but definitely out. They've already put a flag on Rice. Wow. That's interesting. They don't normally put flags on based on rumours, but yeah. I still think it is a rumour because we've not had it confirmed. But yeah, I do think it sounds very likely based on the validity of the source. Hi, Ross. I hope you're well. Thoughts on Bowen? I like Bowen. I think Bowen's probably in the top 5 forwards to own in FPL. Do I think Bowen's better than a lot of the midfielders that you can own? Do I think Bowen's that much better than Thiago? I think Bowen's fine. If you've got that price point in your team and you want to go for him, also fine. West Ham just aren't good enough as a team for me to make Jared Bowen like a really good asset. He just doesn't get enough chances. He's also not creating many chances at the moment. I think he'll tick along nicely, but I don't think he's that great. Do you not fancy a punt on Cunha captain? I'm not feeling it, personally. I think he could do well, absolutely. But yeah, I do just worry about Man United with Mason Mount a slight doubt. No De Ligt, no Maguire, who both progress the ball really, really well. No Bruno Fernandes, no Mbeumo, no Ahmad. Like, Man United are missing a lot of their key players. So it does mean Cunha should be on penalties. He might take some set pieces. But I do think that makes Man United weaker. So I'm just not feeling it as much. I still think Cunha's a great captaincy shout. I still think he's probably the best midfielder to buy this week. But I'm just not there on captaincy. It's just a personal preference thing more than anything. I'll be very happy if Cunha bangs in a hat-trick tonight regardless. I'm not a big fan of Gordon as a buy this week. Like, that sounds wrong. I don't think he's a bad buy, but I don't think he would be my first choice now. That game against Man United, I just think he looked a little bit off it. And he got 90. Like, how many times is he going to... Like, could he be rested? Will he get an early sub this week? Could they try and play Wissa and Voltemada together in like a 4-4-2 formation in which they could then play Barnes and Murphy as the wingers? Like, I just think there's enough of a doubt. And every time Harvey Barnes is on the pitch, I think he looks great. And I don't think he's a very good right winger. I think he's a much better left winger. So there is just enough for me. Rice out is a nightmare after start Senesi and Mukiele. You never know. You might just fluke a haul. Like, if you've got fit and available players, you don't have to sell Rice this week. Even if they don't seem great on paper, they could do a perfectly fine job. So yeah, I would say if you've got cover, you can keep him. If the cover is looking pretty weak and you've also got Timber, Richards, Rodon, etc., then maybe you do get rid. You can always go back to Rice in the future. It's not like the fixtures are exceptional either. Like Villa, Bournemouth, Liverpool, Forest, United, they're okay. I didn't love Rice too much as a pick anyway, which is why I just never went for him. Obviously, I've got lucky here if he's out in terms of not getting punished, and he has still returned, but I do think he's just sort of like a steady Eddie will tick along. Cunha on penalties, more talismanic. 3 bonus for 1 attacking return likely, extra point for a goal, and clean sheet. Defcon potential. Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, absolutely. But if I told you one of Haaland or Cunha get a brace, you'd fancy it to be Haaland. Like, Haaland does love a 13-pointer. Thiago is a doubt as well. Is he? I didn't see that. Where have you spotted that information? I mean, worst case, if Timber and Thiago missed out, I've got Anderson and Lafay. I do have 2 subs. I've not seen anything on Thiago. We can have a quick search, I guess. If that's just popped up, that's hilarious. Like, it's all going terribly wrong. Thiago Brentford. Well, let me just type in Thiago FPL. Someone would have posted about it if there was anything. I've not seen anything. Have I missed something? Awesome to see you back on the live streams. Thank you, Ashley. Would you start Smith Rowe or Dorgu? And what do you think of starting Wilson versus Palace? I think you'd have to start Dorgu if I had him. And I think starting Wilson versus Palace is nice. Like, if you're benching one of those 3, I'd probably bench Smith Rowe and start Dorgu and Wilson. But no, I would rather have Wilson than Smith Rowe probably overall. I'm wildcarding this week. Is it wise to bring in Voltemada and sell Thiago? I worry about Voltemada's minutes as well, because if Gordon does start and they only start one of Voltemada or Wissa, they could start Wissa. Last week, Thiago was rumoured to be a doubt, but I haven't seen anything this week. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. If he is out, he's out. I'm not going to sell him because I just don't have any free transfers or a direct route to anyone interesting. I think if Thiago were to be out and maybe he was injured, then all I would do is downgrade Thiago and upgrade Rodon. I'd switch to a 4-4-2 with Gabriel. But for now, I'm going to play it like this. Just a note on Dorgu before you buy him, if you didn't already know, he is on 4 yellow cards. I've bought Dorgu anyway, but Dorgu could get booked this week and miss Leeds, but then he comes back for Burnley. And obviously, if he doesn't get booked this week, from Game Week 20 onwards, the threshold extends to 10 games. So he only has to get through this one. And if he does miss the Leeds away game, is the best game for him to miss for me. So yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Mr. Shazam with the pink super chat said, just wanted to thank you for your streams over 2025. Knowledgeable and entertaining as always. It's been great to be a part of your community. Thank you for all the hard work in the background. Top streamer and bloke. P.S. Bruno G replacement for Rice. What? So generous. Thank you so much, my friend. If you don't know Shazam, by the way, Truly one of the nicest guys I've had the pleasure of meeting through FPL, and also far too generous. But thank you so much. I'm thrown off now. What was your question? It was Bruno G replacement for Rice. I don't mind Bruno G. Remember, Bruno G's on 4 yellows. So if Bruno G gets booked this week, he'll miss. To be fair, it's Crystal Palace at home, and then he'd be back for Leeds and Wolves anyway. I don't mind Bruno G, actually, yeah. Like Bruno G's underlying data is a little bit disappointing, but overall I still think he's fine. Wow, thank you so much, Shazam. I really, really appreciate that. You did not have to do that. And yeah, I hope you have a fantastic 2026. You deserve it. Hopefully it's one of the best years of your life. One free transfer with Rice. Wilson coming in for Foden, Saka, Cunha. Swap him to Szoboszlai or roll and see what happens. If you've got Wilson coming in and you don't have any other issues and you don't need the rest of your bench, I'd leave it. If Wilson comes in but then you still have other issues in your team, maybe Rice to Szoboszlai could work. I don't think Szoboszlai is that great, by the way. I've got him. I'm happy to have him. I'm not expecting too much from him week on week, though. Honestly, the midfield pool below like 7 million is bad. Like, name me some good midfielders below 7 million. I can't see them. Why no Walter-Mada on free hit? I just think Gordon, Walter-Mada, all of them are a bit of a risk. Like, Bruno G is probably your safest bet, but even he, I suppose, like, he was benched in one of the midweek fixtures, I think, more recently. In fact, I think he was benched against Burnley, wasn't he? At home. So I just think all of them, like, and also Walter-Mada when he's starting now is only getting like 17 min, so he's okay. I just don't know if I would go there, personally, but you could definitely take a risk. Rice out for Wirtz for a -4. Yeah, I like Rice out for Wirtz. I don't love the hit. It depends who your auto sub would be. If Rice being out means you play with 10 or you've got a terrible player, yes, you could go for Florian Wirtz, I think. Bench 2 of Anderson, Chalobah, Timber, Keane, Weaver. Ooh, I would probably bench... honestly, Keane and Weaver, I think, from those options there. Yeah, Keane and Weaver, just about. Lukey Boy says, hi Ross, how are you? I'm well, thank you. I hope you're well, my friend. I hope you had a great Christmas. By the way, 38 months. Thank you for the support. On a free hit, who do you think the best 5 defenders are? Thanks for all the content this year, mate. I definitely think you want a Newcastle and a Man United. You could double up on either, but let's say, I would say Hall and Dorgu or Hall and Dallo. I would then probably have... See, I still think I would have an Arsenal defender, but maybe Gabriel. So Hall, Dorgu, Gabriel. And then I think you could chuck O'Reilly in there. I think you could chuck maybe an Ekatike, Virgil van Dijk in there. Or you double up, like I say, with Chow or Dorgu/Dallo. So I think I would have, maybe it's biased, but Hall, Dorgu, Gabriel, Nico O'Reilly. Something like that for me, I think. Shazam with another super chat. Shazam single-handedly funding my life. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm on a free hit this week. Already have Cunha, Foden, and Wirtz. Hence the Bruno G pick. Oh, free hit, of course. Yes, I like it then. Yeah. On a free hit, absolutely fine. And like I say, probably safer for minutes than someone like Gordon or Walter-Mada. Only 10 fit in the squad. 1 free transfer. Chris Richards to Dorgu or Rice to Neto. I prefer Richards to Dorgu, I think. Yeah, I'd go Richards to Dorgu. For those asking about Declan Rice, I have pinned something in the chat. But basically, Declan Rice, yes, is unlikely to play in Game Week 19. Right. The only reason I've said rumoured in the chat, I've said Declan Rice is rumoured to be out, is like we just don't have confirmation from the club. Like we've not seen anything official, but it looks like 90% likely that Declan Rice will be out. And for that reason, I do think he probably is a sell. Just because he's probably then going to miss the next game, you'd imagine. Then it's 2 game weeks just sat there when other players have issues. Then there's no guarantees back even for the 3rd game. I just think it's looking a little bit dicey. Obviously, if you've got no free transfers and or you've got good bench cover, like maybe Joachim Anderson comes on for you or something like that, then I guess you could keep him. Bass now with the ping super chat. Thank you very much, Bass. I hope you're well, my friend. I hope you had a good Christmas. I'm in an FPL pickle. Current is, okay, I've got your team. Only 1 free transfer. What to do? Doubting a hit from Cunha, Wirtz and Hall for Timber and Rice. I don't know, thanks. I don't know how much money you've got in the bank. I would ideally like to not take out Timber in your situation because he's your only Arsenal defender and I think he starts. But I also do think you probably should be selling Rice this week. So I would say, if you can do Rice to Cunha in one move or Rice to Wirtz in one move, I would do that. I wouldn't take the hit. If you have to sell Timber to get Cunha or Wirtz, I think you could take the -4 hit. Or you could look at someone like a Szoboszlai or Paquetá or something like that. I think, what would I do? I would probably buy Cunha. So I think Timber down to go and buy Cunha is fine if you need to do that. But yeah, ideally you don't take the hit. And thank you for the support, as always. Which Maguire goal was better, Lyon or Liverpool? Good question. Probably Lyon? What do you think? Every Maguire goal is fantastic. He's such a clutch player. I miss him. I really want Maguire back as soon as possible. Never thought I'd be saying that, but there's the situation we're in. De Ligt and Maguire are massive losses for Man United. As good as Heaven and Lissandro have been in recent games, I do miss the pair of them. Got O'Reilly, Richards, Calafiori, Rice. Okay, benches Senesi, DCL, and Goodmanson. 1 free transfer, 0.2 in the bank, help. Senesi to Dorgu, Chow, or something else / hold. I think that Calafiori and Rice are bigger issues for me than something like Senesi. 0.2 in the bank. I wonder about something like Rice to Szoboszlai, or Rice to Szoboszlai, or Richards to Dalot. I think I'd do something like that. Personally. Like, Senesi's not great, but at least he's fit. Like, Richards, Calafiori, Rice, I think you'd be lucky to get minutes from any of them at the moment. It looks unlikely that any of the three will start. So I think that has to be where you use a free transfer rather than using it on something like Senesi, personally. So yeah, I would sell one of your flagged players, basically, Will. Oh, God, my back. Might have to stand up in a second. Utilise the standing desk. Favourite long-term Chelsea assets in defence? Probably is Chalobah. I do think Reece James, though, with the amount of minutes he's getting, could be the one. But I just don't think you need to buy Chelsea defenders right now. Right? Their fixtures aren't there for the next 3 or 4. Would you consider captaining Saka since Rice is out? I don't think that makes Saka a better asset at all. He won't take any more set pieces because it will be probably someone like Trossard or Martinelli taking them from the other side. So he won't get more set pieces. It won't affect his pen share. It will just make Arsenal a slightly weaker team. So if anything, I think Rice being out would slightly weaken Saka as a captaincy shout, personally. There is a rumour going around from one account that Grealish and Keane are a doubt, but it was literally one account. I can show you it again. So again, Declan Rice, rumoured to be out, but I just don't know about the credibility. As I've said here, I've got no idea on the credibility of the source. This person said he got Grealish out and Beto starting correct before Burnley. So apparently he has a decent track record. And by the way, he said our doubts. He hasn't said they're out, but that was the tweet. I'll share it with you, but I don't know how accurate it is. Nanaraptor in the chat. Good to see Nanaraptor. Lots of chaos. If you haven't seen Nanaraptor, wait, has Nanaraptor got Declan Rice? Let's quickly tell. Family Feud. Nanaraptor. Nanaraptor does have Rice. So apparently Declan Rice is rumoured to be out for this week. Nanaraptor. So I would just keep that in mind. You could always keep him and bench him. But seeing as your bench is looking a little bit weak anyway, you might want to potentially sell Rice or something else. I'll leave that decision with you. But yeah, just so that you know. Too much cheese in my house left from Christmas. Temptation is real. Like, obviously, like a lot of people, from January 1st onwards, I want to stop being a fatty and start eating better. But I have been bought so much chocolate for Christmas that right now it's basically a binge fest to eat all of the chocolate before January kicks in. And I am not succeeding right now, but I feel a bit sick. I've eaten so much chocolate. Now, I've literally on my desk just got chocolate sat here to try and eat it. And yeah, then from January onwards, I want to be a bit healthy. Do I use my bench boost or wildcard? Oh, you've got both available. That's silly, isn't it, Dashmate? You're going to have to burn a chip. I would use wildcard. It's a much stronger chip overall, isn't it? Team is Kelleher, Timber, James, Estev, Foden, Rice, Saka, Cherky, Enzo, Haaland, Watkins. The team's not bad, but yeah, 100% slap the wildcard. It's the final week. And if you're watching this and you didn't know, it's the final week where you can use your first set of chips. As of after Game Week 19, going into Game Week 20, we'll have a fresh set of each chip. So you need to use your remaining chips. So I would wildcard. If you want to see roughly what I would do with a wildcard Dashmate, I did it in the previous video. So the video uploaded today, my deadline decisions, I uploaded a wildcard draft in there. I would quickly skip to that video and then come back to the stream if you want to see what I would do on wildcard. And thank you for the super chat, mate. Happy New Year. Pack the Hammer just says, thanks for the advice. Happy New Year. That's it. Haven't even used the super chat for a question. You've just been a legend. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member. It's got to be going on like 3 years, hasn't it? Pack, I'm trying to think when you joined, but it's been a good few years. So thank you for the support as well. I really appreciate it. I think it's awesome, man, seeing people that have been with me for the last like 4 years, 3-4 years. Leon for me too. Thoughts on Hertzler? Thoughts on Hertzler's comments on Minte? Bit weird. He did compare it to the Belabor situation, which isn't great. I don't know what this personal stuff going on with Minte is right now. Didn't sound great. I kind of feel like if you've got other issues to sort and not really a direct replacement, I would probably risk it. Obviously, if he doesn't start again, then we have an issue and you've got a decision to make. But I would probably risk Minte just about. Captaining Palmer tonight, I think he goes big. I could see it, yeah. He might not get perfect minutes, but you don't need him to if he does well enough. Do you think Heaven starts? Yes. Yeah, Heaven should start. I've been with you 3 years, Raptor, just no member. That's absolutely fine. Even if you've never sent a super chat, even if you've never commented, if you're watching right now and you've never even put anything in the chat or liked a video, I still appreciate you just for being here. I really do. Is Keane out? No. There are suggestions from one account that he's a doubt, which was this account. That doesn't make him a doubt for me. It just means one account is... Like, basically, I would absolutely not sell Keane in a million years. But it might mean that if I had 3 defenders fit and 2 defenders injured, and one of my fit defenders was Keane, I might then sell one of my injured defenders just to provide a bit of cover. That would be all I would say. I do feel like this could be one of these weeks where lots of us play with 9 or 10 players. I could genuinely see it being the case where it's like... just multiple benched, injured, rotated players. This is my first comment. Been watching for months. Hello, Phil. Thank you for being here. My name is Shazam. First time being here. I'm an alcoholic, nuts wrong group. Yeah, that's not this chat. That's not this chat. No, it's definitely not your first time here, Shazam. You're a veteran of the game. Bob says Gabriel and O'Reilly or Verts and Dallo on free hit. My brain immediately thought Verts and Dallo. I would go for those two, I think. Okay, I've got your team, Keith. You've made 2 transfers on bench boost. You've got 0 in the bank. What do I do? For Bruggen, O'Reilly, Virgil, Keane, Anderson, Cunha, Foden, Saka, Anderson, Haaland, Ekatike, Dubravka, Rice, Richards, Guiu. How many free transfers do you have left? I'm assuming you've got none. On a bench boost, and you've got Keane, Rice, Richards, Guiu. What could you possibly do to make that bench boost worth it? I mean, hope that Dubravka hauls. I certainly think if you've got free transfers, I would sell Rice. And I would maybe sell Richards. Or you could downgrade Rice and upgrade Guiu. Try and get like Guiu up to Calvert-Lewin and downgrade Rice to a cheaper mid. If you've got no free transfers, I'm not sure I would start taking loads of hits. I might still sell Rice regardless, though, if you're on the bench boost. Maybe Rice to Soboslai if you've got no money in the bank or something like that. Semenyo to Gordon. I still think Gordon's a little bit suspect, and I don't think I'd sell Semenyo unless it was to get to Cunha. So I would just leave Semenyo. This is probably or possibly Semenyo's final game in a Bournemouth kit, so he might do really well. And Chelsea, they've kept clean sheets, but they haven't looked perfect defensively all season for me. Bench 1, JT. Oh, you're in Tim. I was thinking John Terry. JT, Anderson and Sen, Vandenberg, Semenyo. 1 free transfer or roll. I think you could probably roll, but I've not seen your team. Who would I bench from those? Probably Vandenberg. I don't think they keep a clean sheet anyway, and he's a doubt. So yeah, probably Vandenberg. -4 for Cunha, or sort out my defence of Rodon and Richards. I can't see the rest of your team, Jake, but like, as long as you've got 3 fit defenders that you think will play, I'd go for Cunha. Otherwise, focus on the defence. If you don't think you're going to get 3 defenders, ignore Cunha, sort out the issues in your team. Largely, good advice is usually to fix the issues rather than chase the upside elsewhere. Enzo to Wilson for a -4. No, I would just keep Enzo, personally. Gvardiol and Grealish to Hall and Shirky -4. Don't like selling Gvardiol. No, I would sell Grealish to someone else. Szoboszlai, Paquetá, someone like that. Like I really don't love the pivot from Gvardiol to Shirky. I do really like Lewis Hall, but considering it's for a hit as well, I'm even tempted to buy Gvardiol soon. I think he's a really nice asset. Dave says, Rice and Keane apparently out and only Anderson is playing on my bench. Second sub is Krupi. Would you do Rice to Szoboszlai, Rodgers, Gordon for a -4 in this case? In that case, maybe yes. Like that's basically the only reason or way that I would take a hit to replace Rice is if you feel like you might end up with only 10 players, in which case it might be worth it. In terms of which one you do, Rodgers is the best long-term option. Szoboszlai is probably the best medium-term option. Gordon is the best short-term option if, and it's a big if, he starts all of the next 4 games. So it depends how much risk you want to take with him. If you just want to put a player in that you can keep forever, I would go Morgan Rodgers a little bit early. Thoughts on Captain Palmer? If you've got him, home fixture, Bournemouth have been really bad away from home this season. I can see Palmer captain, yeah, for sure. Zodiac's been a member for 40 months. Thanks for 2025. I appreciate you a lot, both as a person and a content creator. Hope you get a good end into 2025. Thank you, my friend. And thank you again for being with me for 3.5 years. I really appreciate it. Ross, good name Ross, says, hello, bud. Bench 2, Timber, O'Reilly, Chow, Tark, Giyu. Giyu, Gay. Bench 2 of them. Start Timber. I'd start O'Reilly. Oh, actually. Oh, wow. That's bloody hell. That is a good defense. That's so tough. Chow, I would have to start. I think I would bench Tarkovsky and Gay, but that feels terrible. I wonder, Ross, could you play a 4 at the back and start one of Tarkovsky or Gay as well? That is an absolutely stacked defense. In a week that a lot of other people are struggling to get 3 good defenders, you've got 5. Ben Dizzy says, team as it stands, Kelleher, Dubravka, VVD, Timber, O'Reilly, Anderson, Rodon, Szoboszlai, Fernandes, Semenyo, Cunha, Foden, Ekitike. Got 1 free transfer. Thoughts on Fernandes to Rodgers? Yeah, I don't think you need to make that move this week, although you're benching Giyu, so only 3 defenders. Yeah, actually, I like that. Again, it's a little bit early to go for Rodgers. He could absolutely score against Arsenal, by the way. It does feel a little early, but then you've got him in place for the nice run of fixtures from 20 onwards. I'm certainly looking at Morgan Rodgers as a potential transfer in the coming game weeks. Sumac says, hi Ross, did Semenyo to Cunha. Okay, 1 free transfer left. Minte, VDB as issues. Have Anderson and Lafay on the bench. Sell either both or just roll. I think I would roll then. That's decent enough cover for you, right? As long as you think you can get 3 defenders. I'm assuming you mean the Fulham Anderson and you've just misspelt it. If that is the Forest Anderson, I would just say make sure you've got 3 defenders. As long as you think you'll get 3 defenders, even if Vandenberg misses out, I would probably just keep it. Because Minte, if he plays, is great. And I think Lafay, probably on pens, does take some set pieces, might fluke you a return, you never know, playing at home. So yeah, I would probably leave it just about with 1 free transfer. Would you start Dorgu or Anderson? If you've got Dorgu, you have to start Dorgu. He could play on the right wing and it's Wolves at home. So yeah, I think if you've got Dorgu, I can't understand benching him. Like, this is the best fixture you can have him for. And bench one out of Rao, Wilson and Rice. Well, Rice is injured. So Rice, right? If you sell Rice, then I'd probably bench Wilson and back the penalty taker and Rao. Despite the fact that Wilson has looked better, I would always prefer to start the penalty taking number 9. So I would probably say Rice, Wilson, Rao in that order in terms of benching. Ben Dizzy says 3 months. Big love. 3 months. I feel like you've been a member for longer than that. Maybe it's just because you've been like active in the chat, sending super chats. I feel like it's been longer than 3 months, but thank you for 3 months. Ross Fraser's been a member for 10 months. Look at all the members pulling up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. FPL Turtle says, my wonderful chimpanzee is Izzy Gaming subscription on 2 accounts. I was wondering, do you know what? Not many people give me nicknames, so I was thinking that sounds a bit like you. Makes sense. And I like FPL Turtle, by the way. That's a nice name. And my defense is Cauliflower, Timber, Van Hecker, Anderson, and Vandenberg. Does it need a hit? Precious. Timber fine, Van Hecker fine, Anderson fine, Vandenberg, Calafiori. I mean, if Timber were to miss out, you'd probably have 2 defenders. So I don't think Calafiori or Vandenberg look great right now, although Vandenberg might play. I think you'll probably get away with leaving it. I reckon at least 3 of your players will play there, is my prediction. Could be all 5 of them. I would probably start Timber, Van Hecker, and Anderson would be the ones that I would start. Shrikar says, okay, I've got your teammate. Rice to Gordon for a -4. Suggestions in general, please. So you got Mukiele, O'Reilly, Dallo, Vandenberg. So you probably, yeah, you don't really want to play more than 3 defenders there. Okay. Yeah, in your case, I do think it's probably worth a -4 to replace Rice. The issue with Gordon is that there is a chance that he doesn't start or get that good minutes, but maybe worth it for the next 4 games. So, yes, I think it's probably worth the -4 to replace Rice. I also think you could go for maybe Paquetá as a penalty taker with good fixtures, or like, I'm really struggling to think of good midfielders. Like Shirky, or do you have 3? No, you've got Foden, Haaland, O'Reilly. There aren't any good defense. There are literally 0 good midfielders below 7 million right now, other than maybe Ryan Shirky. I think Rodgers is over right now, isn't he? If you could get Rodgers, maybe Rodgers is a better long-term pick than Gordon. But yeah, I think in your team, it probably does justify -4 here. Love the content, sir. Thank you, Mr. Squirrel. I appreciate it. Or Mrs. Squirrel. Just Squirrel. Rodgers or Wilson benched? I would start Wilson, slightly better fixture. Would you sell Wilson to Gordon for a -4 hit? Absolutely not, no. Start Igor Jesus. I think Igor Jesus is a really nice pick below 6 million if you need a forward. Like, if you don't want to go Calvert-Lewin, maybe you think his scoring run will come to an end. Yeah. Could you do a captaincy poll? Yeah, absolutely. Captaincy poll. So, captaincy poll. GW19. We've got Haaland against Sunderland. We've got Cunha against Wolves. And then we've got Ekitike against Leeds. And then other comment. Right, there we go. There's a captaincy poll in the chat for you right now. What do you think about James? I really like Reece James long term. I do think there's a chance he gets rested in one of the upcoming games. Just played a lot of minutes, but I still think he's probably a really nice long term pick around 5.7 million, 5.8 million. Oh, glitching out. Like, I scrolled down and it scrolls up. It's like, I think I just needed a new mouse. Struggling. O'Reilly to Gabriel and Rice to Shirky. Yeah, I can get why, right? Because you probably do want to get Gabriel eventually. And whilst I think O'Reilly's good, Shirky's also really decent. So I can get it. Am I still coming through okay? It's frozen. Oh, there you go. I'm hoping that was just on my Chrome that it was frozen. Anyway, sorry, let me go back to it. Froze. It did freeze. That's very weird. I don't know why that was the case, though. I'm assuming that was a YouTube issue because my streaming software looks fine. Anyway, sorry, Joel. Your question was O'Reilly to Gabriel, Rice to Shirky. And I said that I don't love selling O'Reilly, but I love getting Shirky, and I think Gabriel's great. So I know you're sort of pivoting from an Arsenal attacker to an Arsenal defender and a City defender to a City attacker, but it kind of does feel like that could be worth it. Highlight of the year was when I got you to do Saka to Bruno and Raya to Pope on stream. Fan for 3 years. Big love. And yes, it didn't go... Right, do you know what? It went really badly to start with, and then Pope got injured. But getting on Bruno nice and early was really nice. Oh, no, I sold Bruno. What did I do? Saka to... I think... No, wait, I did. Bruno to Saka. Pope to Raya. I got on Saka early. That was it. It was before Saka went on a bit of a nice run. I can't remember when it was. I think it was ahead, like it was around this period where he blanked, but then he got the 12-pointer. Anyway, it ended out working okay, and then I got Bruno back in for his nice run. So, yes, there aren't many people, Joel, that can say that they impacted me to make a transfer. So there we go. Issue is, I'm playing a 3-5-2 at the moment, benching Dubravka, Tarkovsky, Giyu. Oh my God, Gay and Giyu. God, it's been a long year. Benching Dubravka, Tarkovsky, Gay, and Welbeck. Yeah, that looks nice. What was the issue then? Let me go back to the question, and I'll see what I think I said. Oh, okay. Because I said, could you play a back four? I remember. Yeah, you can't really, can you? What a team. I mean, you're stacked. It's a very privileged position to be in with your team right now, Ross. Yeah, I would bench Tarkovsky and Gay. I said it right that time, and Welbeck. I think you've got it spot on there. Ross, we can't hear you. Wait, what? Can you... No audio, no sound. Is there still no audio? Maybe refresh it if you've got no audio. It says the audio is coming through for me. Yeah, maybe refresh. Can people? We can hear you. So it seems like some people, there's no... Okay, if you've got no audio, I can't... But you're not going to hear me say that. If no audio, please refresh. There you go. For those that can't hear, mic muted. No, my mic wasn't muted. I don't know why no audio came through. Is Vandenberg out? No, Keith Andrews just basically gave no update. He just said we'll assess the players that are out. So we didn't have an update on Thiago. We didn't have an update on Vandenberg. Yeah. 8 million midfielders suggestion, please. Long-term Rodgers. Short-term, maybe Bruno G or Gordon. Medium-term, like Soboslai. Check John Harland. Who's John Harland? Is that an account? Apparently John Harland is from New Zealand and he's a business owner. Don't know who John Harland is. Is Rice injured? Just appeared orange on FPL. Look at the... Oh, for Thiago news. Can someone say the exact @ in the chat, please? I'll have a look. Can you put the exact @ for the person that posted it? Basically, on Declan Rice, I can quickly show you. The update was... It was this one. Declan Rice is unlikely to play this evening. It doesn't look good, basically, if you've got Declan Rice. John Harlan _ Okay, cool. Thank you for that. Ewan. Oh. No, I can't copy it. Okay, let me have a look. Oh, John Harland. Okay, here we go. So apparently, he said he just had a bit of an issue. Nothing to do with his injury last season at all. I probably should have elaborated on that at the time. So no, nothing serious like that. He also said, again, this time of year, the games, it takes its toll. You need to be careful with some players at times. I just think he showed a lot of bravery and courage to play against Wolves. It doesn't sound great, does it? Let me show you that. It's this account here. So it was... Where was it? I've just lost it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, he just had a bit of an issue. Nothing to do with his injury last season. I probably should have elaborated on that time to know. Nothing serious like that. Again, this time of the year, the games, that it takes its toll. You need to be careful with some players at times. I think he just showed a lot of bravery and courage to play against Wolves. That was the update on Thiago. Thank you for letting me know that. Anyone been watching the darts this time of year? Always fantastic. Is it worth it to do Minte to Soboslai for a -4? No, I probably wouldn't. Hi Ross, greetings from Finland. Big love. Anderson to Lewis Hall. I would do that if you've got no other issues in your team. If you've got other issues, flagged players, limited free transfers, it probably doesn't feel like the most necessary this week. I know I made the move, but I just wanted to. And after making those moves, I feel like I've got less issues in my team. But yeah, it depends how much of a luxury transfer you feel like that is and how much you feel like you can make it, basically. I don't know what to do about Keane. If he doesn't play, then Lafitte comes into the team. I have 2 free transfers. Do I just roll? I would just roll and leave it, yeah, and hope. It wasn't... The person that rumoured it is only one person. They didn't say Keane was out. They said he's a doubt. I think you just have to go with it. Like, I don't think we can make changes to our teams based off what one random person tweets. Now, if this guy is correct, then we'll bear that in mind for the future, of course. Andy MC1996 says, Triple United this week. Lamens, Cunha, Dorgu. I'm a United fan too, so I'm prepared for double disappointment. Yeah, it'll be 1-0 Wolves now after that. But yeah, big love, mate. And hopefully Man United get 3 points, keep a clean sheet, and we're all loving life. A Dorgu assist for a Cunha brace. Dorgu assists both of them. Lamens makes 9 saves, and Man United win 2-0. We'll take it. Start Harry Wilson or Minte. I think I would risk it with Minte, but Wilson will start. Minte might not. So if you don't want to take the risk, just start Harry Wilson, who's been very good himself. Could absolutely score against a depleted Crystal Palace team for sure. Dashmate, wildcard 100% needed for my team. Bench boost, Cash to Heaven, Juve to Richards, Estev to De Kuiper, Guiu to DCL, Rice to Wilson, and then your team. I get what you're saying, but you've then still got some doubts in your team. You've wasted 5 free transfers just for a bench boost, and you've wasted a wildcard. So you've basically lost 5 free transfers and a wildcard just to play what on paper doesn't look like that good of a bench boost. So I would personally wildcard Dashmate. My advice would be to wildcard, but you don't have to. No, you could bench boost, and it could go fantastically for you. Do I take a hit to replace Rice or just play Wilson? I think if you've got Harry Wilson, just play Harry Wilson. He's great, and Ross, any Liverpool leaks? No, not as of right now, no. Yeah, do you know what? Let's have a look at some replacements for Rice. Let's go. I mean, we can have a quick look, actually, at the predicted points. Not that I necessarily trust it perfectly, but let's go midfielders up to, let's just say like 8 mil, just in case you have a bit of money in the bank. I mean, Semenyo, but I wouldn't go there now given the rumours that he will be joining City right at the start of Jan. Bruno G, again. Do you know what? Bruno G for the next 3 or 4 weeks, I can get behind. Gakpo, obviously a doubt. Won't get the minutes, I don't think. I won't go there. Erdegaard, no, not for me. Declan Rice, obviously there. Cherky, Rodgers, Soboslai. Kevin Schade. Probably a player that we're not mentioning enough. Like, Schade's been decent. I would probably say they are my top 5. My top 5 would probably be Bruno G / Gordon. Depends if you want to take a risk on minutes. Cherky, Rodgers, Soboslai, and Schade, I would probably say. There is a link down below, by the way, if you want to check out Fantasy Football. That's what I'm using right now. If we go over the last 6 game weeks, what am I doing? After the last 6 game weeks, let's go midfielders. Again, up to 8 million. And let's look at anyone that's been putting up really good underlying data. Let's go. What stat do I want? I'm going to need to make this a bit bigger to get XGI. There you go, XGI. So Gordon's put up the most, then Schade, then Cherky, then Wilson, Semenyo, Yeremy Pino. Maybe a player that's going slightly under the radar. Reinders, Ahmad, Enzo, Rodgers. It's the same players that I mentioned. I think a Newcastle mid, Schade, Cherky, Rodgers, or Soboslai would be the ones that I'd be looking at personally. Hello, FPL Pickle, you okay?
Yeah, I'm knackered. I did the walk back so rapid.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Absolute chaos this evening.
So, Keen's a doubt.
Only according to one random account with 2,000 followers. And no one else has reported it anywhere. So I'm saying I would absolutely take that with a massive pinch of salt. I would just make sure that you've got cover if he were to miss out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to buy Hall. Okay, bye.
I have Timber and 1 free transfer. I don't know whether to hold or move to Lewis Hall or Dorgu. And any news on Declan Rice? Declan Rice sounds very likely to miss out. Timber has been seen with the squad, and I would predict right now that Timber probably starts. So I would say Timber start probably. Declan Rice probably not going to play. I would keep Timber for that reason, unless you're going to free up some money to go and do something else with it. Bench one of O'Reilly, Timber, O'Brien, Van Hecker. Probably O'Brien, I would say. I think they were lucky to keep a clean sheet against Burnley. I think if you own an Everton defender, you count yourself lucky. Like, Burnley had like 1.4 XG, 16 shots. I think actually the attackers being out is a massive loss for them. Like, having no Dewsbury Hall, Iliman Ndiaye, Jack Grealish to hold on to the ball, it means that they are just inviting pressure constantly. So I actually think Nottingham Forest attackers are quite decent for this week. Like, if you want a cheeky punt on a free hit, Igor Jesus could be a decent shout. Everyone subscribe. It is deserved and takes 1 second. Yeah, my goal for the end of the year, which we're never going to be able to hit, was 175,000 subscribers. But if we can get a little bit closer, I would really appreciate that. So yeah, if you're not subscribed, you've enjoyed the stream thus far, please do consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Also, drop a like. There are 2,000 people watching. We've only got 200 likes. It's 10%. Quick maths for FPL Raptor. That means 90% of you haven't bothered liking the stream. So please consider liking. I really appreciate it. Yes, I've already made my transfer. So my transfers for this week were... Oh, I've just seen Rodon's gone red flag. But my transfers for this week were Hall in for Senesi and then Dorgu in for Richards, basically. So I made 2 defender transfers and that was it. When is the next GeoRaptor video? Tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Right. I just need to take a new screenshot of my team now that Rodon has changed his flag colour. Not that it matters particularly, but you know. I'm nothing if not accurate. Should I start Joachim Andersen or Minte? I think I would risk it with Minte, because I don't think Joachim Andersen is a particularly fantastic pick this week. I would have no issue, though, if he comes off the bench for me, basically. I considered doing Rice to Rodgers. I know Rodgers is bad for my bench boost this game week, but good for the future. And at least he gets good minutes. Would you do Rice and Hincapié to Cunha and Chow, or to Rodgers and Hall, / keep Hincapié? Oh, I like Cunha and Chow in for Rice and Hincapié. I think I prefer that one slightly, but I think Rodgers and Hall is really nice. It's a shame you can't afford Cunha and Hall, because that would be very easy. I think I would honestly myself go Cunha and Chow. I think I would. But I think that's very close, Zodiac. Boom. Sorry, I'm just getting a screenshot of my team because the flags have changed colours. 400 likes now. Exactly. Look, all I had to do was ask and the likes doubled. Let me just make sure I haven't missed any super chats whilst I've been yapping. Think we're good. Should you still keep Rice? It depends on your interpretation of whether he'll be out long term. It doesn't sound particularly serious. And also, it depends on whether you have bench cover, adequate bench cover for the next couple of game weeks. Like, let's go off the basis that Declan Rice misses 2 game weeks. Can you cover that? Is he definitely out? No. The tweet, that if you want to see the tweet, go onto my Twitter, I retweeted it, or it is pinned at the top. Check it out yourself. I can even pull it up on screen for a second. Where is the tweet? Wait, has it been deleted or am I just scrolling past it every time? Oh, it's there, sorry. I would probably go on the basis that Rice is out. But of course, you could wait for the next hour. Like, the deadline's not for another hour. So if you want to get a little bit more confirmation, you can wait. But I would move on the basis that Declan Rice is out. Rice is now orange flagged in FPL. Yeah, but like the flags in FPL mean nothing. FPL often have no idea what they're doing. Why is that? I've just realised the lights on my mic is orange. I don't know what that even means. Hopefully that doesn't mean that it's bad. Right. Would you sell Mount for Gordon for a hit? No. Probably not. I think if Mount's fit, he'll play. He's very important to us right now. Without Bruno Fernandes in the team, Mason Mount does a lot of what Bruno does. He's obviously nowhere near as good, but he does a lot. Orange flagged mic. Yeah, even my microphone's flagged. That's not good. That's never a good sign, is it? Anderson or Gay? With the way Gay's been playing, I'd probably just start Gay. He'll probably score another header. And the man is absolutely exceptional all of a sudden from set pieces. Chow versus Hall. For me, Hall has the higher upside. He's the more fun pick. But Chow is more consistent. His minutes are better. He's better for DEFCON. So I think Hall's worth the fun chasing upside. But if you want a player that you know you can just keep in long term, just go Chow. Best free hit team. I would say go watch the video that I uploaded earlier because I went through free hit and I can't bring up another draft now because it will take a bit of time. But yeah, if you go and watch the video that I uploaded this morning, it will say uploaded. It would have been 10 hours ago now. In that video, about halfway through, I talk about free hit. Roger, hello. Hello, Ross. Good to see you. Did Rodon to Dorgu for a defense of Senesi Dorgu Timber? Looks great. Alderete and Van den Berg on the bench. With Rice being out and 8th attacker being Guiu, would you take a -4 for Van den Berg to Lewis Hall? Yes. And then I would start Lewis Hall ahead of Senesi and have Senesi as your first sub. Probably ahead of Alderete, basically. Yeah, that looks good to me. I think it's worth it. Because Van den Berg might feature, but I just think Lewis Hall has the upside anyway, and he's a nice player to own. So I think I would do that just to give yourself some cover. Will Frimpong play 60 plus with Bradley and Soboslai back? Who knows? I don't know exactly how they'll set up in all fairness. Could be Sobo right back. Could be Sobo in the 10. Frimpong starts. Could be Bradley starting. I think Frimpong will start, would be my prediction, but I just don't know. It's probably not worth the risk. If you own him, probably keep him and start him, but I wouldn't buy him or pick him on a free hit. I don't think Gordon will start, have no cover, I'm cooked. I think Gordon starts for what it's worth, but yeah, if you've got... The thing is, you say you've got no cover, Gordon will absolutely come off the bench if he doesn't start. So you're not going to need your bench for Gordon. It would just be a bit of a shame if he doesn't. Shazam says, most important question, what are you two doing for New Year's Eve? We're spending it with Pickle's friends, basically. They do it every year, and I'm more than happy to spend it. I just want to be with FPL Pickle on New Year's Eve. Don't mind what we're doing, in all fairness. Yeah, again, Sharda is a player that maybe deserves more consideration. He's putting up good data. He's obviously very explosive, got haul ability. I like it. You skipped my super chat by mistake, bro. My bad. Let me have a look. Just seen it. Thoughts on Rice to Sharda? Perfect timing. Yeah, Kevin Sharda I really like. He's probably, in fact, he is probably top 3 options to replace Declan Rice. I've put in Martinelli instead of Rice because I love to watch him. Fair play. You should pick players you want to play and you want to watch. I don't know if he'll start this game, Nanoraptor, for what it's worth. It could be Trossard. But if Trossard does start, then you'll get Martinelli probably off the bench. You'd hope. FPL Pickle did not hear my cute line. She must have her headphones in, I think. Otherwise, she would have said something. You big softy. I know. Yeah. Van Hecker or Senesi, please, Raptor? I would say Van Hecker. Probably. Better fixture. Is Welbeck a good pick? Oh, I don't love it, but he does have great fixtures if he starts the next 2. Gordon is lowly owned. Rice to Gordon for the mini league. The issue with Gordon is that I do think his minutes are slightly suspect. Did you miss my super chat on Semenyo versus Gordon, or did I miss the response? I don't think I've missed any, but I would say Semenyo, personally. I'm thinking of doing Rice to Verts. I like that, yeah. Okay, Mark, I've got your team. 1 free transfer, moves/bench. So in terms of I would bench Guiu. I would bench... Oh, that is a great defense. So I would bench Guiu and Dewsbury Hall. And I would bench probably Van Hecker. So Van Hecker, Dewsbury Hall, and Guiu. And I would probably roll. If you've got the money to do Semenyo to Cunha in one move, I would do it. Otherwise, yeah, I would just leave it as it stands. And I would probably play a 4... So that would be a 4-4-2. Would you buy Pope or Sanchez for Leno? No. What have I missed? Not sure what I've missed, but on Leno. If Leno's a doubt, then I guess, but I didn't see that. Lots of people asking if Declan Rice is out. All we know so far is this, but yes, it looks very likely that he will be out. I can't confirm that because I don't have the source and I've not spoken to big man Declan Rice, but I would say that it looks very likely. On bench boost, -4 for Dorgu in and Alderete out. Probably not. I would just bench boost with Alderete. Because let's say Alderete concedes 2, but gets DEFCON, maybe gets a 3-pointer. You need a 7-pointer from Dorgu just to pay back the hit. And as much as I think Dorgu's a good option, needing 7 points doesn't feel great for a player that you're bringing in, so I would probably leave it. Columbo says, hi Ross, thanks for all of your help this season, mate. Love all the videos, big love. Thank you very much. That is very sweet of you. I appreciate the support. And just sending a super chat just to be nice. That's very kind. Bob, on free hit, I can sell Gordon and Wirtz and bring in Soboslai and Palmer. But it leaves me no bench cover. Would you do it to get Palmer and remove Gordon risk? I would maybe chase the upside with Gordon and Wirtz. Does feel a little bit higher upside, but Soboslai and Palmer definitely feel safer, and you're probably getting 2 penalty takers there versus 1 with Gordon and Wirtz. So maybe it's worth it. Palmer is very exciting as a pick on a free hit. So yeah, I might be tempted to do that, yes. Is Thiago out? No. The quotes were basically, he's been playing with a small issue and he was very brave to play in the Wolves game. Didn't sound fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the bench, which is like worst case scenario, but I think you've got to start him unless you've got a really good backup sub. And for me, I just don't think I can start Anderson ahead of Thiago this week. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Thiago is on the bench. Or out the squad. It does sound like he's got some small issue. He might be a sell for me in the coming weeks, to be honest. Thiago or Waltemada just for Gameweek 19. I think probably Waltemada, but I don't think he's even guaranteed to start, honestly. Darash? Free hit team. Would you rather Reece James, Dorgu and Erdegaard or O'Reilly, Heaven and Saka? Also, would you play Palmer on free hit? I would love to have Palmer on a free hit, absolutely, but only if it's not sacrificing the rest of the team too much. Reece James, Dorgu, Erdegaard, O'Reilly, Heaven, Saka. I think I marginally prefer O'Reilly, Heaven, Saka. But I wonder, could you do O'Reilly to Chow, Heaven to Dorgu, and then Saka? So, like, Chow, Dorgu, Saka would be my preferred combination there. I just really like Dorgu over Heaven, personally. But I think Saka over Erdegaard is worth the sacrifice. Hopefully that helps. 1 to start, DCL or Minte? I would risk it with Minte, personally. Yeah, I'd risk it with Minte. You never read my comments, bro. There you go. I read a comment. You just wasted your one. I'm joking. I will read the future ones if I see them. I just pick one at random when the chat's going crazy. Like, it goes quick, and I just choose one at random. Gordon or Bruno G for Semenyo? I think Bruno G probably if I was going to buy one this week. Is Dallo good? Dallo's okay for 4.5 million. Yeah, absolutely. He's not a game breaker. You probably won't want to own him that long term, and Man United's defense will frustrate you, but I think he's okay for the next 3 weeks, Dallo, yeah. I kind of want to stand up, so I'm going to go for the... Oh. Okay. Oh. Let me get rid of my chair. Get the chair out the way. Hello. I'm stood up. I need to probably go... Oh, I need to go a bit higher with this table. With this desk. No, that's too high. I need to go down one because the green screen's not tall enough. Oh, I do need to go all the way down, don't I? Wait, even that then? I need to tilt the camera up. Sorry, guys. 1 second. No, I'm going to have to go down again. That's far from ideal. It's still not right. Sorry. Getting really close to the camera. No, that's worse. For goodness sake. Why is... hang on a second. Code red. Wait. Code red.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm trying to stand up, but the green screen is having a nightmare. So, I think if I bring it closer... Haha! Oh, my head went really red there when I bent down. Yeah, a little bit. Can I go higher? Haha! We have liftoff. Okay, sorry about that. I'm just switching around. Oh, I think I bent down too quickly then. Very lightheaded. So if I do that now, okay.
Any snacks or anything?
I'd love some snacks, but no, I don't want to show you. Thanks. Right, there we go. We're good. I think we're fine now. Fingers crossed. Let me stand there. Okay. If you see me moving around a bit more now, it's because I'm stood up. Start DCL or Timber. Ooh, Timber, probably? Is Semenyo going to play? Yeah, it sounds very likely. This could be his final game in a Bournemouth kit, but I would be surprised if he doesn't at least get that send-off. So yeah, I see. Like, it's not January yet. It's not like he can move right now anyway. But it could be that straight after this, he goes and gets prepared for that move to Man City. It'll be very interesting to see how they line up with Semenyo in the team. Like Doku, Semenyo, Foden, Shirky. He obviously loves Bernardo Silva as well. You've got Marmoush once he's back, Haaland. Like, they've got a lot of players. Why is someone sending ducks in the chat? Can we not spam duck emojis? As much as I love ducks, but if we can not spam emojis, thank you. On free hit, torn between a 3-5-2 with Wirtz and Shirky versus a 4-4-2 with Hall/Foden. 3-5-2 with Wirtz and Shirky versus a 4-4-2 with Hall and Foden. I think Wirtz and Shirky sounds better to me, but I mean, Hall and Foden sounds great as well. I would chase the upside with two attackers. I would go Wirtz and Shirky, I think. Timber, Hincapié, O'Reilly, bench Anderson, Mukiele. Roll? Yeah, easy roll. Easy roll. If one of Timber or Hincapié doesn't play, you've got Anderson coming on. Mukiele's even okay. He'll probably get Defcon. So yeah, I think you're fine. MN Chuckster. Hi, Ross. Team is in pretty bad shape. That's not what we want to hear. I've got your team. I'm thinking about a -4 for Rice, Richards to Cunha, Dallo. Yeah, I would do it. I think with the way your team's looking right now, you've got obviously Keane in there, Lafie. You probably do need to make a couple of moves to make sure that you filled a decent 11. I think I would do that, yeah. I think I'd get that done. Yeah, go for it, MN Chuckster. Get your team sorted. Bring in two players from the best team in the league in Man United. Would you rather sell Hincapié to Gabriel or Rodon to Dorgu? This week, I would do Rodon to Dorgu. And then maybe next week, you can look to do Hincapié to Gabriel. That's probably the way that I would lean, honestly. Yeah, other defenders are Keane, VVD, and Anderson. Okay, yeah, I like it. I would get Rodon to Dorgu done. Hi, Ross. Bench boost with Dubravka, Minte, Keane, and Dorgu. Would a -4 be worth it to upgrade one of Dubravka or Minte? No, I would leave it. Just play the bench boost. You've left it a little late, which is why it maybe doesn't look great, but I wouldn't start taking hits just to bench boost, personally. Jay says, hey, buddy. Hello, Jay. Can you give me your honest feedback on my free hit team, please? Raya, Dorgu, Virgil Hall, Palmer Foden, Gordon, Cunha, Soboslai, Haaland, Ekatike. Love it. Really nice. My only concern really is I just don't love Raya. I feel like there are better picks than Raya, like Lamans, Verbruggen, because they actually make saves. I feel like you could chase a Hall a lot easier. But yeah, the team's looking really strong. There aren't any other players massively that I could criticise. Like I said, I do think Gordon could maybe be benched, but I'd still expect him to start if I had to put money on it. With your advice on board, the free hit team is Lamans, Virgil, Gabriel, Dorgu, Chow, Saka, Cunha, Foden, Wirtz, Haaland, and Ekatike. That's a lovely looking team, yeah. I would be slightly tempted to downgrade Lamans to upgrade Chow. That would be a little bit tempting to me. But I think you can absolutely also just keep it as is. Max has been a member for 27 months. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. I've also just realised that I've not had my team on the screen this entire time. Completely forgot. There we go. In case you haven't seen the team yet. This is where we stand. Ross, have a happy new year. Have a good game week. Best of luck. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You too. Hope you have a good start to the year, and I hope you have a good game week as well. I mean, you kind of need both to happen at the same time. If we have a bad game week, it's not going to be a good start to the year, you know? Right. How long we got? We've got about 50 minutes till the deadline, so plenty of time still to make your final decisions. FPL the Mac has been a member for 47 months. 1 month off of 4 years. Insane stuff. Okay, I've got your free hit team. John Sells. Yeah, do you know what? I like the John Sells pairing on free hit because you just guarantee a goalkeeper. Van Dijk, Dorgu, Hall, Palmer, Foden, Cunha, Gordon, Wirtz, Haaland, and Ekatike. Any improvements? Where could I improve that team? I mean, it's great. You must have pretty decent team value, I think, with a team like that. Although you've got Dorgu and John, I suppose. There's two cheaper options there. Anywhere I couldn't improve that, I don't think. That is pretty bang on. I guess you've gone Palmer over Saka. That's maybe a personal preference thing. Depends which one you want. But otherwise, it's really nice, mate. And best of luck. Hi, Ross. 2 free transfers. Timber Estev to Gabriel Heaven. Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind that. I also don't think you need to do Timber to Gabriel this week. Estev to Heaven, I have no issue with. Don't know that you need to use the extra transfer. Could you maybe wait 1 week? Do you think Heaven will start? I do think Heaven will start, yeah. We just don't have any other players that can play, really. We could play Yoro and Lissandro, but I think it'll be Heaven and Lissandro Martinez. I think we'll play a back four again, is my prediction. It will be Luke Shaw left back, Dallo right back, Heaven and Lissandro as centre backs, and Dorgu on the right wing, would be my prediction. It worked really well in that first half against Newcastle, so I think he'll stick with it. It started going a bit pear-shaped, actually, when he just started making loads of random substitutions. The thing is, though, like, if he starts playing 4 at the back now, it kind of proves the point that it might have been an issue with the formation. So I don't think he'll play 4 at the back for the rest of the season, but I could definitely see him doing it this week. You know? Don't be surprised if he does switch to a back 3, though, if we have the options available to us. It could be Luke Shaw left centre-back, Heaven central centre-back, or right centre-back, and then Lissandro as well in there. So it's certainly possible to play the 3 of them. You're just then looking at a lot of left-footed defenders in the defence, which coaches don't seem to like. Avid says, hey Ross, my team at the moment, okay, I've got your team. What are your thoughts? Great defence, fantastic midfield, fantastic forward line. Almost looks like a free hit team, mate. So best of luck. You should have a green arrow. Fingers crossed. Dorgu and Chow or Heaven and Hall? I think... Oh, I just smashed my light. I think Dorgu and Chow. Personally, for me. Dorgu and Chow, yeah. That's very close, though, Zodiac. I reckon Forest batter Everton 4-0. Igor Jesus brace, Gibbs White Williams. Yeah? Fair? I did make this prediction when I didn't realise just how many issues Everton might have, so I might have changed my prediction now from 1-1. But yeah, I could certainly see Forest winning that game. I also just think with David Moyes in charge, Everton are still going to put in an okay performance. I have Rice Senesi as first sub, worth a -4 or hold. I would just have Senesi come in. As long as you don't have any other issues in your team. Like, if you're going to have like multiple players miss out, maybe you need to take a -4 hit. But otherwise, I think just having Senesi come in is fine. Dave says, hi Ross, start 2 of Shirky, Soboslai, Sharda on free hit. I'd probably bench Sharda, just about. Pretty close, though. I think I'd have to start Shirky. And I like that Soboslai's on penalties and set pieces. Got 45 minutes until the deadline. No, hello you legend. Hello, my friend. 1 free transfer. Moved early and removed Saka. Okay. Kind of effed up big time. Team, Verbruggen, Dubravka, Timber, Senesi, Anderson, Mukiele, Rodon, Cunha, Foden, Wirtz, Rice, Enzo, Haaland, Ekatike, Krupi. What to do? I think in your case, you probably sell Declan Rice, right? I think your defence doesn't really cover you particularly well. Timber, Senesi, Anderson. So you do have, and then Mukiele. So you have defenders. So I think you either do Rodon to Dorgu and maybe play a 4 at the back, or sell Declan Rice to someone like Soboslai, Sharda, Rodgers, whoever you can afford, basically. I don't think I'd make both moves. I think I'd either buy Dorgu for Rodon or sell Rice. I think either of them are fine. News about Rice just come in, 50% chance. Are you just basing that off the FPL app? Or have you seen something else? Because as of right now, it seems very unlikely that it will play, but I haven't seen any updated news, so let me know if you see anything, of course. I've got a 5.9 million for a mid. Is Mount too risky? Bench boost. He is a bit risky. I'd maybe look at Paquetá, who I think is still 5.9. Or has he gone up to 6 now? I can't remember. If not, then maybe you could go Mason Mount. I don't hate it. Sorry, whoa, why is my stream just crashed? Hello? Hopefully that didn't crash on your end. My Chrome just gave up on life. Buy Rice on wildcard. If not, who for 7.2 million? I would just go Soboslai for now as a placeholder, probably. Or Sharda. I don't know if Sharda's over 7.2 now. Sharda or Soboslai. Who do you recommend as triple captain? I would just pick your captain and triple captain. Like I wouldn't look at the triple captain any differently than captain. So whoever your favourite captain is, triple captain them. I would go Haaland this week, I think. Why is everyone picking Dorgu instead of Dallo? When I bought Dorgu, he was 0.4 million cheaper. And money is the thing, unfortunately, in FPL. So yeah, 0.4 million. Rice is playing right back tonight. Where have you seen that? Please feel free to share. As of right now, it doesn't look like Declan Rice will be playing at all. Like I say, obviously there's only one person that's actually posted this about Declan Rice, but you'd have to say it looks fairly reliable. Do we get 2 triple captains this season? Yes, as of next week, you'll get a new triple captain chip available to you. I needed to sneeze, but then it went, and now it's coming back again. I don't want to. I've got really bad like dad sneezes, and I will try to mute my mic if I do sneeze, but you would not want to hear that. I am a bit under the weather, sadly. It's just that time of year. I tried disappearing for a second, and the sneeze disappeared itself. Is Hincapié a doubt? I think he's a small doubt that it will start. I think he'll be in the squad. I think he'll start left back though. If you want my prediction, so I think if I had Hincapié, I would play Hincapié. Hatik, okay. Hello, good to see you. I've got your team. Hey, Ross, 1 free transfer, 0.8 million in the bank. My team is, okay. Do I 1 roll, 2 Rodon to Dorgu and 4-4-2, or 3 Sanchez to Pickford? Definitely not Sanchez to Pickford. I think Sanchez is a really nice long-term goalkeeper option. So I'd rule out that. Could you roll with a team? Honestly, yeah. I would probably do Rodon to Dorgu, though. Because that's a fine move anyway. Like, Rodon's not a great player to come in for you when you need him. It's not like... If you were selling like Mukiele to Dorgu, I'd be a little bit less sure, because I think Mukiele's a great long-term option. Rodon doesn't always hit DEFCON. Leeds have dropped off a bit defensively. I would do probably the Rodon to Dorgu move, Hatik, just about. You're talking about the same players over and over. Should I just answer 3 questions and then end the stream? People have different questions about specific combinations, right? That's the whole point of me being here, is just answering questions. If I only answered questions about players once, then the stream would be over very, very, very soon. EFC Home latest tweet. Who is EFC Home? Oh. Oh. Okay. I will show you this. One sec. That. Okay. Another account suggesting Keane might not play tonight. Again, cannot confirm the reliability of the source. Interesting. That's a second account. I don't know if they've got the same source or what, but they're Everton accounts. It's not like they're FPL accounts trolling, you know, or accounts from a Pickle. Okay. I don't think I would sell Keane in a million years, and I don't... Would it put me off buying? It might put me off buying, but I think if you've got him, keep him, feel free to start him. And I just think make sure that you have a backup. If you wanted to bench him off the back of it, it's your choice. Like, I can't decide what you do. But I just want to say again, I'm not confirming the reliability. These are 2 accounts with barely any followers that I've never seen before. So they could have the same source. They could be guessing. They could have, I don't know. It seems unlikely that both accounts would be saying that if there wasn't something behind it, you know? Up to you. Up to you what you do with that information. And apologies, as always, if any of it is untrue. Timber news. Timber has been seen with the squad. That's the only news that we have on Timber. Thoughts on Gordon as a short-term punt for Rice? I think Gordon starts 3 of the next 4 games. Wouldn't be surprised if he's benched in one of them. And I don't think he gets 90 minutes in more than one. So I think minutes are an issue. But when Gordon's on the pitch, he's putting up really good data and he should be on pens. So I think Gordon's a fine short-term punt as long as you accept the minutes risk that comes with him. That's all I would say. Bifta says, Raya, Van Dijk, Anderson to Verbruggen, Gabriel and Gordon -4. Leave 0 in the bank. Thoughts? I wouldn't do that, no. I don't think the combination that you're going for is that much better than the previous one, and you're having to take a hit and use 2 free transfers. So I don't want to put you off, because it probably is marginally better to have Verbruggen, Gabriel and Gordon, but Raya and Van Dijk are both fine options. Anderson will get DEFCON, so I could see that not paying off, but if you want to make it, it's not bad. I will be honest with you guys. If there's a bad set of transfers, I'll say it. It's not bad. It's just not, doesn't leave me that excited. Bruno out to who? Have Saka, Foden, Cunha, Wilson. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. That's a tough one, actually, isn't it? I mean, Saka, Foden, Cunha are the 3 that I'd want to own. I think Bruno G's an option. Rodgers is an option. Soboslai, Sharda. I think they're probably the top 4. So, a Newcastle mid, Soboslai, Rodgers, Sharda would be the where I would look. If you could get to Wirtz, actually. Maybe Wirtz. Yeah, maybe Florian Wirtz, actually, McAllister. Have Keane, Hincapié first bench. Leave it as it is. I would have been tempted to start Hincapié anyway, so maybe start Hincapié. But yeah, you're fine also to start Keane and have Hincapié first up. Kuro Gains. Okay, give me your team. 2.5 million in the bank. 1 free transfer. Roll and wildcard 20 sensible. I don't know what to do. No, absolutely not. You don't need to wildcard that team. It looks fine. I think you're fine to roll, but I don't think you need a wildcard in 20. What are you wildcarding to? You've got double Arsenal defence. You've got O'Reilly, Cunha, Semenyo, Foden, Haaland, Thiago. That's a great team. Definitely don't wildcard that. The only transfer I think you could make is to sell Declan Rice to someone like Florian Wirtz, maybe. Something like that. Sell Rice. Otherwise, I think your team's looking fine. Don't panic. If you have Keane on a bench boost, would you -4? Probably not. Probably not, but there is a good chance that he is out if these rumours are true. I don't know if people might say that it's not a reliable source. Yeah. I think they're guessing. We've never heard of them. So maybe nothing to be said. Again, it might just be a load of nonsense, and sorry if that's the case, but I would always rather share it with you and then allow you to come to your own decisions on it. So again, we'll have to keep an eye on Michael Keane. Maybe just start him and screw the rumours. Because if you hadn't been active on Twitter and you hadn't seen, you would just keep him. Looks fine, and that might be okay. In a bench boost, would you take out Elliot Anderson for a hit for anyone's 6.4 million or take out O'Reilly for Dorgu? No. I think Anderson and O'Reilly are both fine for a bench boost. Anderson in particular is actually really nice for a bench boost because he'll start. Gordon is benched according to Tyneside Football. Okay, I can have a look at that account. Tyneside Football. That account doesn't exist. I'm confused. This account? Well, I don't trust this account. Sorry, not to be rude, but they've only got 200 followers, so they can't be regularly reporting accurate team news. Otherwise, they'd have more followers at this stage. It's not always based on follower count, but I've got no reliable way to back that, you know? Unless that's the wrong account. If you want to type in the fresh account, then feel free. Timber, Senesi, Richards, O'Reilly, current defense. 1 free transfer, 2.6 in the bank. Suggestion on moves. Should I make 2 moves for a -4 or just go 1 move? If 1 move, what move? Thanks. Right, okay. Timber, Senesi, Richards, O'Reilly. So Timber and O'Reilly are fine. You could play Senesi. I don't know who your 5th defender is. Who's your 5th defender? That would help. I would be tempted to sell Senesi to Gabriel. If you already have triple Arsenal, Senesi maybe just like downgrade even. Senesi to Dallo. Something like that. I wouldn't make 2 moves though. There's no need to make 2 moves. Hey Ross, if I had to build a free hit team this week, what would that look like? Just starting 11. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you as well. I know it's a bit annoying to say this, but if you go and watch my video from this morning, skip to about halfway through, there's always timestamps, so it'll be really quick. I'd put a free hit draft in that video. The only one I would be a little bit unsure on now is Gordon from that free hit draft. But otherwise, yeah, skip to that video. You'll see that. You could just replace Gordon with Bruno G if you wanted to have a safer option. Just joined. Why not captain Ekatike at home? Thanks. I just prefer Haaland. Simple. Simple. Haaland's been really good away from home this season, by the way. Free hitting at 2.3k in the world. Best Chelsea triple up. I don't know that I would triple up, but James, Palmer. I wouldn't triple up. James and Palmer would be the only 2 I would go for, probably. I guess you could go double defense. We could pick Enzo Fernandez, but I'm not really all the way there. -4 to get Semenyo for Cunha. I assume you mean Semenyo to Cunha. No, I wouldn't do that for a hit, no. Happy New Year to you as well. I appreciate the support. Paul says, have Saka, Rice, and Timber got bench cover for Rice this week. 1 free transfer, 0 in the bank. Do Saka to Cunha to do Senesi to Gabriel next week, or just do Timber to Gabriel? I wouldn't make any of those moves. I would be tempted to sell Rice, but I wouldn't be selling Saka to Cunha, and I wouldn't sell Timber to Gabriel. I'd leave it. So if they're your only options, leave it. Otherwise, sell Declan Rice. Which one of Dorgu and Hall, or both, and benching Capier? It depends if this is transfer or free hit. If it's on a free hit, I prefer Dorgu and Hall to Hincapié. If you're just going to transfer one in, I obviously prefer Lewis Hall. But it depends what the rest of your team is. It depends who you're selling. If it's on a free hit, yeah, just go Dorgu and Hall. Hugo says, love your stuff, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Raya, King, Heaven, O'Reilly, Keane, Richards, Anderson, Verts, Rogers, Cunha, Saka, Anderson, Haaland, Watermada, Thiago. 2 transfers, 1.3 in the bank. So stuck. What you doing? Okay, what would I do with that team? Heaven, O'Reilly, Keane, Richards. So Heaven's fine, O'Reilly's fine, Anderson's fine. If Keane and Richards were to both miss out, you have 3 defenders. Verts, Rogers, Cunha, Saka, Anderson, Haaland, Watermada, Thiago. Initial instinct when I look at that teammate is actually to roll. I don't think there's a necessity for you to make a transfer there. If you wanted to, like if you're like, I want to have some fun, Richards to one of Dorgu or Dallo could be a bit of fun, or Hall actually, because you've got money in the bank. Yeah, that's the one. I think if you were to make a transfer here, it's Richards to Hall, but I absolutely think you could just leave it and just not make a transfer. And yeah, best of luck this week, and thank you for the support as well. Got Keane and Thiago starting and a weak bench this week. 2 free transfers. Thinking I'm going to roll instead of ripping the team apart. Thoughts? Yeah, because we don't know that either Thiago or Keane aren't going to play, and they're both decent long-term holds, or at least medium-term holds. And it would be a shame to remove them if they're fine. So yeah, I would suck it up, roll. Like I said, I think there'll be a lot of people this week that are playing with 10 men or 9 men. It just seems like it's going to be one of those weeks. Already having flagged players, having loads of issues crop up this evening in the news, and that's just the ones that are being rumoured. There will absolutely be some players that miss out that we just don't know about. Hi, Ross. Bench which 2 of Gabriel, Virgil, Van Hecke, O'Reilly, Minte? I think you bench there Van Hecke. I think you probably bench a 1. Okay, thank goodness. I'd bench Van Hecke. I was really struggling for a second one to bench. Yeah, I'd bench Van Hecke, just about. Not that I think he's bad, but Gabriel, Van Dijk, O'Reilly, and then the upside of Yankuba Minte. You could make an argument that you'd bench Minte ahead of Van Hecke because he's a doubt, and Van Hecke's not a doubt, but I think I would chase the upside, personally. Goodmanson to Dorgu, -4. Have Keane no other bench options? In that case, yes, that's probably worth the -4. Jay says, I have triple Arsenal, Raya, Rice, Timber, with 1 transfer. Would you advise Rice to Saka and move Semenyo to Rogers next week? With Keane a doubt, I have Anderson auto sub. If you have the money to do Rice to Saka, 100% I would do that. If you're having to take a -4 to fund it, still might be worth it, honestly. Honestly, if you've not got Saka and you've got Rice, it might be worth just trying to get to Saka. O'Reilly, Anderson, Van Dijk, Fofana, Van den Berg. Who to change? Van Dijk's okay. O'Reilly's fine. If that's Fulham Anderson, he's okay. Fofana, probably the one that stands out there, unless you think he's going to start. I've not been following Chelsea's defensive team news. Van den Berg's a fine long-term option. I think it would be Fofana would be the one that stand out there. But I think you could get away with making no defender transfer this week. Max says Richards to Dallo and Thiago to Walter-Marda -4, or just do Richards to Hall. I would just do Richards to Hall. Yeah, I don't think Walter-Marda's an essential pick, considering Wissa's now back, and considering Eddie Howe has shown that he's happy to rotate some of his key players. So, yeah, I would just do Richards to Hall, personally. I still think there's upside in that pick, Max. And thank you for being a member for 50 months. 50 months, Max. That's insane. Do you think Grealish will play? Probably not. He might. He might. I don't think he'll play 90. I think, what did that account say? That I quote retweeted. Oh, this account has said that Grealish is on the bench. But again, I don't know who this account is. They could be anyone. They could just be trying to get followers. And they would delete very quickly and then pretend it didn't happen if they're wrong. So, yeah, we'll see. Do you think Hall is a valid captaincy pick? I just don't like captaining defenders myself, personally. Just don't like it. Keane is in the squad. There we go. There's another conflicting report if someone said that. I just don't know, sadly. If you have a source, by the way, please share with me. I'm happy to share whatever the source is. Thanks for all of the content and advice this year, even though some of it didn't always pay off. But hey, that's FPL for you, right? Again, I'm always sorry if I don't give perfect advice, but yeah, I appreciate that you view it that way. Wish you and Pickle a happy new year and as many green arrows as possible. Enjoy tomorrow and see you in 2026. Thank you so much, my friend. And I appreciate the support all year long. Not only this year, in previous years as well. You've been an absolute legend, so thank you. I still don't know your name. I just call you MN Chuckster, but I'm sure that's okay. Right. Triple Captain Ekatike or Haaland? Start Hincapié or Gay? I would start Gay, and I would triple captain Haaland if it was me. But if you want to chase the upside, triple cap Ekatike is quite fun. Triple cap Cunha would be very fun as well. But I would go Haaland if it was me. Hi Ross, watch the free hit vid. Why not back Brighton? I think you can. I think you can have a couple. I just don't know which attackers you desperately want that you know will start and have the upside. Why back City versus Sunderland, who seem to be doing well? I just think Sunderland looked really poor against Leeds, and I think City could tear them apart. They have been playing really well this season, but I think that could be starting to come to an end. Do I think Wirtz on free hit is wild? No, I really wanted to get Wirtz, I just couldn't afford him. But if you can get Wirtz into your free hit, I think it's a really nice free hit pick. One free transfer, no issues to sort. Timber to Gabriel or roll? I would still roll. Because you say you have no issues, but stuff could happen that makes you wish you had two next week. And you can always still do Timber to Gabriel next week. So I would still roll. On free hit, Cherky, Wirtz, Hall, or Foden, Szoboszlai, Chow? I think Cherky, Wirtz, Hall seems more fun to me. Darsh Shill has been a member for 47 months. Says, rate my wildcard. For Bruggen, Keane, Chow, Gabriel, Van de Ven, Mukiele, Foden, Lewis, Miley, Gordon, Ekatike, Thiago, Haaland, Rodgers. I will give it an 8. Players that stand out to me as not being perfect. I don't know about Van de Ven, although the fixtures do turn for Spurs, so I can understand it. Keane's fine, but just bear in mind that he might not play this week, so you might be getting Van de Ven off the bench. Anyone else that stands out? No, actually, I think it's still a really good team. Maybe Lewis Miley's not great, but he's your 8th attacker, so it doesn't matter, and he is starting at right back at the moment. Yeah, I like that team. I like that team a lot. I do think Verbruggen longer term maybe isn't the best pick, but short term he's fine. I might be looking to replace Verbruggen with Sanchez around sort of 22 to 24. So that's something to consider. But yeah, overall, I think it's a nice wildcard team. Saliba to Hall. If you've got no other issues in your team and you've got the free transfers, I don't mind it. People asking for free hit. Again, I did that in my video earlier today. So if you want to see my free hit draft, go and watch my video from earlier. But just have fun. Like, pick... I don't mean to be patronizing, but free hit is easy. Like, just pick players with good fixtures that you like. It's a week where you only have to own these players for 1 week. If you like Lewis, Hall and Chow, own the pair of them. If you want to go big on Man United, chuck Cunha and Dorgu in there. Go for it. Like, if you want to back Brighton, go for Verbruggen and Van Hecke double up. If you think Shirky's better than Foden for this week, go Shirky. Like, have fun and just attack the fixtures. But obviously, Man United versus Wolves. I think City versus Sunderland. Liverpool versus Leeds. Newcastle versus Burnley. And Brighton versus West Ham. They appear to be the fixtures to target. And then, of course, you can still put the likes of Saka and Timber and Gabriel in because Arsenal are brilliant. But yeah, I just think have fun with it, you know? Ballard was a big miss for us versus Leeds. Probs one too many missing with those at AFCON. Long as we can keep picking up a few points over the next few games, we'll be fine. Also looking to spend again in Jan. You'll be fine as a team, Aaron. I think this week you could struggle, especially if Ballard's not back. I've not seen an update if Ballard does feature or is likely to feature, but yeah, I still think City score a few goals here, personally. They could not. It could be that Sunderland beat them 1-0. I just, my prediction is not that. You've got just over 20 minutes until the deadline, by the way. Just over 20 minutes. If you are just joining, welcome. The news we've had is that it looks like Declan Rice will miss out. Timber is with the squad. Calafiori remains a doubt. Probably predicted that Hincapié will start left back instead. And then also, there are a couple of accounts suggesting that Keane will not play tonight. But the accounts suggesting that Keane will not play are pretty unreliable, in all fairness. Like, to the point where I almost wouldn't trust them. But the fact that two separate accounts have posted it, I'm maybe inclined to believe it slightly, or at least take it into account a little bit. Sell Wilson or Rice to Cunha. Rice might be back very soon. True, but he could also not be, and Wilson's fit. So I would sell Rice before I would sell Wilson. I think Wilson's still a fine pick, right? He's not gone from being a great pick to a terrible pick just because the fixtures are slightly weaker. How long is Rice out for, do you think? I have no idea, but probably sounds like the next 2 game weeks. Unless he is genuinely really close to being fit tonight, I don't see how he plays again in a few days. But he might be back for game week 21 then. So I would say probably at the moment, with very limited info, 2 game weeks. Might be 3, might be 1. Start Anderson or Rodgers. I'd probably go Rodgers. He's in form, isn't he? Even though I think obviously Arsenal are brilliant defensively. Right, 20 minutes until the deadline. 20 minutes or 21 minutes. Liz, good to see you, says, hi Ross, on bench boost, 3 free transfers and 0 in the bank. Defence is Virgil, O'Reilly, Timber, Mukiele, Richards. Okay, so defence is fine. Virgil, O'Reilly, Timber, and you've got covering Mukiele. Best plan to transfer Richards to someone under 4.5. Plan to transfer Gabriel for Timber later. I don't think you really need to unless you're playing a back 4. Because if you're not playing a back 4, then you're going to have to bench one of O'Reilly or Timber or Virgil. So if you're playing a back 4, Richards to Dallo, I think sounds nice, or Richards to Dorgu. If you're not playing a back 4, I would leave it and just roll again. Because that 3-man defence looks really strong to me. Hi, Ross, can you check my latest super chat? You missed it. A Waldo Wallace. Did I? Oh, sorry, I've just seen that now. Hi, Ross, what would you do in my situation? I went Timber to Chow and Xhaka to Rice for -4 and now have no bench cover. Richards, Rodon and Guiu. Oh, that's tough. I would probably just do Richards to Dallo or Dorgu to give you bench cover for Rice. Or, actually, if you can afford Rodon to Dorgu. If you can afford Rodon to Dorgu, I would do that. If you can't, I would do Richards to Dorgu. And then that just gives you a decent bit of cover and also an exciting pick for this week. And sorry for missing your first super chat. Hi, Ross. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. You as well, Derek. Start Forrest Anderson, Fulham Anderson, or sell Senesi to Dorgu and start Dorgu. Rice and Guiu on my bench. Depends how many free transfers you have. But if your team's okay, you've got the free transfers to do it. I'd sell Senesi to Dorgu. Otherwise, I would probably start... I'd probably start Forrest Anderson if I had to start one of the Andersons. On free hit, deciding between Gvardiol and Wirtz or Foden and Soboslai. Ooh, Gvardiol and Wirtz. I think Foden and Soboslai just about. Foden, Shirky and Haaland or Foden, O'Reilly and Haaland. So basically Shirky or O'Reilly. Depends on all of the other factors. Like if it's literally just straight up Shirky, but what is the combination? But yeah, I probably marginally prefer Shirky to O'Reilly. Shirky's in such a great run of form. You'd imagine he'd start. And I think, again, City score a few goals. But I also have predicted City to keep a clean sheet. So decide yourself there. Pope starts as per Will. Yeah, Will was very interesting. Will has got some stuff spot on in the past, but also some stuff horrifyingly wrong. So I'm not sure I want to trust Will as a Newcastle source. Like I say, some stuff has been crazy spot on, but some stuff has not been. He said that Gordon starts. So maybe then. Maybe start Gordon if you want to trust Will. I'll bring it across. Because again, I will show you everything and then it's up to you. This guy has been really, really wrong and really, really right. And I know you think if he's wrong, then you just don't trust it. But like when I say really right, he's posted like really weird lineups like 12 hours in advance before I got his spot on. So I never know which version of Will's going to turn up. But he has said Nick Pope starts, Gordon starts, and Hall starts. Whether or not you want to trust that or not is up to you. Bajo says bench one of Chalobah, Van Hecke, Minte, Timber, or Rao. I would probably bench Van Hecke if I had to choose one there. On free hit now, I did that one. Do you think Semenyo will start now? Fabrizio is saying Man City, here we go, is imminent. I still think Semenyo gets that final game because Bournemouth don't care about sending a message or X, Y. They just want to win games and Semenyo's their best player. So I think Semenyo will play every game that he possibly can for Bournemouth. And this will be possibly his last game. So I think Semenyo's fine as an asset. For this week, at least. Start Joachim Andersen or Hincapié. I'd go Hincapié. Hi, Ross. Do we know if Rice is out long term? I think people are suggesting it's 1 to 2 weeks, which could be as many as 3 game weeks. So probably long term enough. But if it's 1 week, he might only miss 2 game weeks. It does sound very unlikely that he'll play tonight. That's all we know. Do I go Timber to Gabriel? Both might not start. Unless you've just got like 4 or 5 free transfers and want to buy Gabriel, I think you can wait. Have you seen the Thiago news? The only news I've seen is that Keith Andrews basically said that he was brave to play against Wolves and he's got an ongoing issue. But he could, of course, play again. Sorry for the banging around in the background, if you can hear that. How long we got? We have got 16 minutes till the deadline. 16 minutes. Plenty of time to still make your moves. Make sure you got your bench order. Bench order this week feels incredibly important. In fact, I'm going to go on another tab and make sure that I have my bench order sorted. And yeah, try and make sure that you've got 1, preferably 2 bench options. And yeah, I can see a lot of people not fielding 11 players this week. I might be one of them. You never know. I hopefully won't have to rely on Enzo Lafie, but I wouldn't be surprised if I do. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's 2. Is Pickle doing your tea? Sounds like Pickle is putting away stuff from the dishwasher. But I cannot confirm nor deny. But there was a lot of clanging around. Dorgu or Dallo this week? I think Dorgu's got slightly higher upside, but Dallo's been very attacking, and he's more nailed longer term. So I think if you have the money and know where else you want to spend it, maybe go Dallo. But I think Dorgu's perfectly viable as well. Dubravka or John Forrest keeper start this week, please? I mean, John. I'd go John, absolutely. But I don't know that I would buy John for Dubravka. I would just keep Dubravka as your backup goalkeeper. But if you're starting one or the other, it's definitely John. And as long as you've got backup, like John will either start or not. So if it was randomly Sells went back in, he'd be okay. KJ50493. Okay, I've got your team. Tempted to roll next few weeks. What do you think? Defense, Van Dijk, O'Reilly, Tark, good. Anderson. Rodon's not great, but he's your 5th. That's fine. Soboslai, Foden, Cunha, Wilson, Anderson. Thiago, Haaland, Ekatike. Yeah, it depends what happens, right, mate? Like, right now, that looks like a team you could roll. If you pick up one or two injuries, then it won't be. But yeah, I certainly think that with the way your team's set up right now, if nothing goes wrong, you could certainly roll that. I wouldn't be surprised if very few people are able to roll over the coming game weeks. There's just so many games at the moment. There's so many players picking up injuries. Raptor, what's your personal opinion on Gordon? My personal opinion is that he probably does start, but I think there is a high likelihood that he gets reduced minutes in the game. But I just don't know. Like, that's just an opinion again. Gordon or Voltamada or both? Neither, because of the minutes risk, but I would probably lean towards Anthony Gordon because he's on pens and he's a midfielder. Virgil versus Frimpong on free hit. Both nailed? No, Frimpong's not nailed. Virgil is. I would probably go for the nailed player though in Virgil. Just because like Frimpong could start, but he might also not get to 60 mins. Van Dijk will get you DEFCON in most games. He's got some attacking threat and he'll play 90 mins. So I would lean Virgil van Dijk if it was me. Hey Ross, bench one of Timber Rogers, Minte, DCL. I'd bench DCL, personally. I know he's been in fantastic form, but I think given those options there, I would just about lean that way. What happened to Michael Keane? Nothing happened to him. Like, there are a couple of accounts with like 3,000 followers combined saying that Keane's not going to be in the squad. But again, just random accounts. Like, anyone could make an account, change it to an Everton profile and tweet that. So like, I struggle to give it full reliability or credibility, but I at least wanted to share it with you, but I don't know. Is Thiago playing? I've got no idea. Just make sure you've got a decent first sub. I'm happy to have Joachim Anderson come on for either Timber or Thiago. But yeah, if you've got Thiago and no backup sub, maybe you need to sort that out. Because it does sound like Thiago is a doubt. Yeah. Timber is with the squad confirmed. Yes, we've seen Timber with the squad, absolutely. Gabriel and Reinders or Chow and Cherky? Probably Chow and Cherky, I would say, on free hit. Yeah, I think I'd lean that way. Soboslai and Palmer versus Wirtz and Gordon. If this is on free hit, I think either are fine. I quite like the Sobo and Palmer combo. You get two penalty takers there. I think Palmer's really high upside against the Bournemouth team that leak goals away from home. Who to start? Senesi, Anderson, Mukiele. Anderson, for me. If you need to start two of them, I'd still probably lean Senesi over Mukiele, but Anderson would certainly be first choice ahead of the other two. You've got just over 10 minutes until the deadline. Again, still enough time, but start to think about your transfers if you've not made them. Pickford over Dubravka? Yes, I would say so. Do you think Palmer gets 75 mins minimum tonight? I think he probably gets around 75. I'd say somewhere between like 65 and 75. Don't think he'll get 90, but I could be wrong. No subs and 4 injuries. Do I take the hit? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're going to have 10 players then, right? So I would take a hit if it means you're going to field 11. Is Dorgu a must for a free hit? No, not at all. No Man United player other than maybe Cunha, I would say, is a must. Even Cunha, you could swerve, but Cunha captain, that's more of your type of captaincy, bro. I wouldn't say so. I don't take like loads of risks with captaincy, and I think Haaland will do well against Sunderland. Is NUFC Will a reliable Newcastle account? They are sometimes extremely reliable and sometimes extremely unreliable. They've been wrong at least 4 or 5 times, but as I said, they've also been extremely right 4 or 5 times, where they've listed almost the entire starting 11 and got it correct. So, I don't know. I've actually blocked them twice in the past because they kept getting stuff wrong. So, not fully reliable, no. I would say nothing we've got tonight is fully reliable, other than maybe the fact that Declan Rice is probably out. But everything else is just rumours. And it's up to you or not if you want to take that into your decision making. You know? I can't make that decision for you. All I can do is present what I've heard or what I've seen. I really think Miley is underrated. He's my placeholder for KDH. At the moment, yes. But obviously once they get someone coming back that can play right back, whenever that is, then he obviously isn't a nailed-on starter. Percentage chance you give Hincapié of starting. 65? 70%? Like, I think he will start, but I'm not confident that Hincapié starts. But I would guess he will start left back if I had to right now. And I think he'll basically slot in almost as a back three, and I think it'll be Timber the one that is getting forward quite a lot. Or White, whoever starts at right back, basically. Is Dorgu captain a terrible pick? I wouldn't go there just because I think Man United's clean sheets are so inconsistent. And I think you do need a clean sheet from a defender. Unless you are really confident he scores, in which case the clean sheet isn't necessary. But other than that, from a defender, like their main way of returning is a clean sheet. I just don't know that I feel that confident in it. Leeds are getting a result tomorrow. I mean, yeah, I could see it for sure. I don't think it will be the case, but yeah, I could see it. They're playing very well. They're scoring goals. Why not Ekatike as captain? I just think Haaland's a really great captaincy option this week. Just because of where Sunderland are in the table, defensively, their data's not that fantastic. And I think recently they've scraped by a couple of results. I just think that Sunderland aren't at their peak point of where they've been this season. And I think City are starting to purr a little bit in attack. So I could see this being, I've predicted 3-0 to Man City. And in which case I want to captain the player that scores most of their goals. Do you think Semenyo will start? Yes, I do. I do think Semenyo starts. I don't know that again, but I would predict yes. So you've got 8 minutes till the deadline. NUFC Will says Wissa starts. Interesting. I don't know whether to trust him or not. Why Dorgu over Dallo, Raptor? Because when I bought Dorgu, he was 0.4 million cheaper. He's still 0.3 million cheaper. And for most people, most of their transfers have like 0 in the bank. And I had 0 in the bank. If they were the same price, I would arguably go Dallo. But I think it might be worth the saving of going for Dorgu, potentially. Will Krupi start? I would predict no. He got his start. He came off at halftime. Didn't look great. I would say probably Krupi won't start, but I'm not sure. One free transfer. Calafiori out. Gabriel Hall or Dallo in. I would just go straight for Gabriel, I think. Would you take a -4 hit for Hall in place of Senesi? No. I just play Senesi, I think. Dorgu nailed for the next 3. No, not nailed. He's not nailed, no. But I think he will start all 3. By the way, Dorgu's on 4 yellow cards. So if he gets booked this week, he'll miss Leeds. So bear that in mind as well. Would you do Hincapié to Dorgu to make room for Gabriel next few weeks? No. I mean, you could always do that next week, by the way. I know you would miss the Wolves game, but you could always make a move to free up money. But I think Hincapié is fine this week. I mean, unless you really want Dorgu. Like, I can get it. He's a fun pick, and I'm glad to have him. It's a bit of fun. But no. Whereabouts in Essex are you from? I grew up in Loughton, in Essex. If you're from Essex, then you should know that. Where that is. It's closer to East London than, it's just outside of East London. Tavernier to Sobersley or Anderson to Dallo? I think Tavernier to Sobersley I actually prefer. Any news on Timber or Gabriel? Both in the squad by the looks of it. I would expect both to start, but we've not had anything reliable. We just know that both are in the squad. You've got just over 5 minutes till the deadline. Yeah, got some fellow Essexers in the chat. Fair play. Chelmsford, Southend. Yeah, Essex is a pretty big place, to be fair. It's probably over an hour to drive from one end of Essex to the other? Thought I got a fun notification, and it was just Uber Eats. Hi, Ross. Start Rao or Gay or Dallo? I would probably start Rao out of the 3 of them, just about. Prioritise Ekatike or Cunha. I would go Cunha because the next 3 are brilliant. And he's a midfielder. But I think this week, you could argue maybe Ekatike slightly better as an asset. But I think just across the next 3, I would rather have Cunha if I could only own 1. What did you order? No, I didn't actually order. Uber Eats just try and tempt me with food because I'm a fatty and I eat loads of food. So Uber Eats are like, haha, bet you're hungry around 6 p.m. And I am hungry. So now Uber Eats try and tempt me. But Miss FPL Pickle is going to cook us dinner. So I don't need Uber Eats tonight. Ross, why do you support Man United, not a London team? What's the story behind it? My granddad was a Man United fan. So my granddad just chose to support Man United when he started watching football, because I think no one in his family really followed football at the time. So he basically just felt like he had a free choice. And so my granddad was a Man United fan growing up. Then my mum was a Man United fan growing up. And then I became a Man United fan growing up as a result. So it's basically like family. But no one from my family is from Manchester, so... If Rodgers is starting, should I buy him for Rice or better Gordon? I like Rodgers long term. Like this week, I don't expect much from him. But could Rodgers score against Arsenal? Absolutely. And from 20 onwards, everyone's going to want to buy Rodgers. So you're getting in there 1 week early, which isn't the end of the world. I really don't mind going for Rodgers this week if you want to. But obviously, it just feels a bit rough buying Rodgers ahead of Arsenal away, you know? Who to bring in for Rice? No extra funds. Foden, Wilson, Bruno G, Cunha. Probably Soboslai, if you've got no extra funds, I would say. Do I -4 for Rice to Soboslai? And is Keane out? Don't know if Keane's out. I think there's just rumours at the moment, so I wouldn't go too much off of that. -4 for Rice to Sobo? It depends if you've got bench cover. If you've got bench cover, no. If you've got no bench cover, then yes. Hi, Ross. O'Brien and Dorgu or James in Heaven for the foreseeable future? James in Heaven seems stronger to me, I think, overall. Do you hate that you become a Man United fan? Sometimes, but no, I love my club. As much as I complain, I love being a Man United fan, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Hi, Ross. Foden or Wirtz and no Arsenal defence, okay. This week, I don't hate no Arsenal defence, but like long term, you want one. Foden or Wirtz? I mean, for the next few, I quite like Florian Wirtz, but I think Foden's the better asset. So if it's more of a long-term thing, I would rather have Phil Foden. If it's this week, I think you could absolutely justify wanting Wirtz more than Foden. I've got Liverpool and City both scoring 3 goals in my prediction, which might be a little bit unfair to Leeds and Sunderland, but basically I think both teams will score. It's just if you get lucky at being your player, of course. Speaking of which, how is Club going? We're going to discuss Club in a second. Obviously, all of my deadline streams are sponsored by Club, so we will discuss Club in a bit. Normally do it post-deadline, though, because before the deadline, we're focusing on FPL. And by the way, that is a reminder that you now have 2 minutes until the deadline. 2 minutes until the deadline. Get your teams locked in. I would absolutely not be faffing around right now asking me questions. And I'm again going to open up another tab because I'm very anxious and make sure that, I want to make sure that my team's okay. Good luck, Ross. Hope for the green arrow and Rice to maybe start. I mean, the Rice start seems unlikely, but yes, hopeful for a green arrow for everyone watching right now. I would love another green arrow. It was a red arrow last week down to 614k. So if we can get in the top 500k, I'd be delighted. But FPL is very unpredictable. And as much as I think my team looks okay, I'm a little bit unsure at the moment. Wilson or Rodgers? To start, Wilson. If you're buying one, I'll probably go Rodgers now. When do you think you'll do your next wildcard? Just when the next double game week is announced? Yeah, probably around like 28, 29. I think somewhere between 26 and 29 is probably roughly when we'll have our first double, although I've not really looked into it in too much detail. So yeah, basically around the blanks and doubles, I will save my wildcard for then. I'm okay with how my team's set up. I'd rather just use my transfers at the moment and keep the wildcard in the back pocket. You've got less than a minute until the deadline. Get your teams locked in. Yeah, last game week of 2025, absolutely. Thank you for being on all the streams if you've been in the whole time. And if you've been in every stream in 2025, you're an absolute legend. Thank you for your support. Help, help, help. Dubravka or Raya? Absolutely, absolutely David Raya for me. You can't bench Raya for Dubravka when they've got the fixtures they've got. Hi, Ross. Start Rao or Anderson? If that's Forrest Anderson, I'd still probably say Rao as the penalty taker. You've got less than 10 seconds. Get your teams locked in. I need to tweet my team. And then we will carry on talking about non-FPL stuff, FPL stuff, whatever your questions are, basically. Cool. Right. Post. Drafts. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So, how's club going? Yeah, let me just tweet and then I'll bring it up for sure. Right, let me get my team. Locked and loaded. We are good to go. Right, post. Is it crazy to go Verbruggen over Raya? No. I like Verbruggen's got higher upside than Raya most weeks. I would say in a game like this though, Raya could haul because Villa will have multiple shots. So I think if he keeps a clean sheet, it's very unlikely it will be a 6-pointer in this game, I would say. So, but I think probably Arsenal just about, I would say, concede maybe 1 goal. It's going to be interesting. Like Villa are in form. They keep scoring low XG chances, but Arsenal are an elite defence, so we'll see. Quite a stressful end, quite a stressful year. Yeah, talk about it. Well, tell me about it, I meant to say, I think. I'm trying to multitask. Clearly, I can't do that very well. Watched every vid, been in every stream. What a legend. Whose FPL content do you follow? Name 5 YouTube, Twitter, including both. I always stay up to date with Harry and Oscar because they're my 2 good friends. I will watch some of Andy's content from time to time. I do watch a bit of the FPL Wire. And obviously FPL Pickle, of course, but I don't really watch FPL content as much these days. I just make my own decisions. Like I know most of the information from watching the football. I can check my own stats. So the only time I put on an FPL video is if I'm like a bit bored and I want something on in the background, not for information. Because all the information I should know myself, right, without having to check. That should be the aim at least. So yeah. Right. Let me pin that. Right. It is club time. Let me put that there. We actually need to sort out my club, guys. Seriously, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. This is important. One second. Is that going to work? Right. As always, these streams are sponsored by an app called Club, which is basically fantasy football made better. A little bit more casual, but also a little bit more engaging. You basically build up your club facilities, keep upgrading your stadium. You meet with your agent to basically build a fantasy football team. And this is how the team stands. I think my candle just must have blown out because you know, like that smoky smell from my candle. I think it met its demise. My front 3, Saka, Cunha, Gordon. I think I'll still risk Gordon, although I think we should find out the lineup before. But anyway, Rice. Rice. Damn. Okay, we're going to have to sort that out. Maybe we'll get a midfielder on loan. Are there any good midfielders on loan? Reinders? Joe, not really. I could take Big Verge, I suppose, and play a 4 at the back. I've already got a 4 at the back. I could play a 5 at the back. Okay, anyway. Bruno G, Soboslai, Diaz, Timber, Kanate, Dorgu. Let's meet, actually, with Manny. Let me know in the comments, in the live chat, guess which player Manny is going to get us. Manny is the agent. You can get any player in the Premier League. So basically, just guess a player in the Premier League. Can be good, can be bad, could be ugly. Ideally, a midfielder. Like, if we could get a really decent midfielder, that would be really positive. But it's never what you want. So yeah, just guess any player in the chat from the Premier League. Florian Wirtz. Wirtz would be sensational, really. I'd be very happy with that. I'd be happy with Erdegaard. I'd be happy with... I don't know. I just need a midfielder, basically. But players like Semenyo, like that, they're forwards in club. So midfielders are actually a little bit harder to come by. So we're going to go for it. 3, 2, 1. As always, there is a link down below in the description if you want to check out Club. Free. Completely free to download. It massively helps support me if you do download it. Core. Rare. Oh, elite. We're getting a good one. Elite midfielder. Please be good. Man City. 85. Delightful. Couldn't be any better. Get in my team. Okay, right, now we need to get rid of some... Do I just get rid of Rice? How much is Grealish? Grealish won't sort the... I think I'm just going to have to get rid of Rice then. That was perfect. That couldn't have gone much better. Sorry, Rice. He's a great player to have, but I'm going to release. I'm going to release Declan. Release. Okay, we're back in budget. We chuck Phil Foden in there. That couldn't have gone any better if we tried. But if you want to check out Club and hopefully build a pretty good team, like my team's coming along very nicely, there's a link down below. Make sure to join my league as well. Leagues, FPL Raptor. 3462SK7. I'll copy it in there. Make sure to join the league. And we can compete against each other. By the way, if you're thinking it might be a bit late in the season to join Club, it's not, because it's weekly head-to-head. Doesn't really matter when you join. It's the same, right? Because there's not really... There is a season-long score in the league, but most of the time it's sorted by game week. So, yeah, there we go. Pretty good overall, I would say. Also an itchy head. When's the next GeoVid, Ross? Loving the content recently. Thank you. There is a video out tomorrow morning. It's not a Road to Champion. It's one of those where you play alongside me and you see if you can beat me. So that should be a fun one, hopefully. Can you win anything with Club? I'm actually in discussions with them right now. So what you probably may not have known if you're new to the stuff, but I actually am a shareholder in Formation Games, the company that created Club. And I'm in the game as well. Like I'm more heavily involved in Club than just them sponsoring my videos. And we're in discussions about that kind of thing. Like, are there any leagues we can create which make it fun for people to join as well? So I'll let you know. As of right now, there aren't any prizes, but there will definitely be prizes in the future for sure. And yeah, you just go up against an opponent each week. So you can see my record is loss, win, win. And hopefully I'll beat my opponent this week. I think my team looks better on paper, but you never know. It's never as simple as you think in Club. So what we'll obviously do is we'll wait until at least 6:15 for the first set of lineups, which will be... let me... Oh no, didn't mean to do that. The lineups then are... Oh, no. What am I trying to do? Phone, Miriam, there you go. I'm just on my phone still on my screen. So we'll get lineups for Burnley, Newcastle, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Forest, Everton, and then West Ham, Brighton. So we'll get 8 lineups. What was the code again? It is 3462SK7. I've put it in the chat. That's the code to join my league on Club. Honestly, forgot the deadline was tonight. There's so many deadlines. I wouldn't blame people for missing a deadline at the moment. It's crazy how many deadlines there are. And it's non-stop. Then there's a Saturday deadline. Then we've got another midweek deadline. It's crazy. That phone pool was shareholder privileges for us. Yeah, I know. I wish I did get shareholder privileges. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Does Pickle play GeoGuessr? She doesn't really like it, in all fairness. Yeah, she's not a big fan of GeoGuessr, which I can understand. It isn't for everyone. But I've thought about doing a video at some point where I get her to play and see how she does. She does know a few things. I've taught her about how to check the hemisphere. She knows about general scenery. She's watched some of my videos, so I think she'd be better than a beginner, but she would get a lot of stuff very wrong. How did you become a shareholder? I've been involved in Club now for 15 months. I was there right at the start, testing it, and I just got in nice and early. So yeah. So we've got 6 minutes till the lineups come out. Who am I most interested in seeing? Is there anyone I'm worried about? I want to make sure Lewis Hall starts, of course, for Bruggen. So who do I have in the 7:30 games? I literally only have Hall and Verbruggen, right? Yes, Hall and Verbruggen, that's it. Is there anyone else? Everton, Forest, Chelsea, Bournemouth. No, Hall and Verbruggen. Voltemada apparently benched with Wissa starting. I've seen a few people suggest that. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. It sounds plausible. This is why I said you've got issues with the likes of Gordon and Voltemada, because they can rotate now when they have players fit and available. Barnes could start instead of Gordon. Wissa could start instead of Voltemada. Alanga could start instead of Murphy when he's fit. There's a bit of a minefield at the moment. Who do you think would benefit more from Johnson signing from Spurs? Bournemouth, Everton and Sunderland also linked according to Fabrizio Romano after Palace agree fee. I don't think it's a great signing. Like, Brennan Johnson is a very specific type of player, but he also isn't a great finisher. And they already create a lot of chances. Palace's issue isn't chance creation, it's finishing them. I feel like they almost need like a deadly goal scorer. And I know Johnson has scored a lot of goals, but I feel he's more of a wasteful player. Like, they need someone clinical. Almost more of a Harry Wilson type player where you feel like they're going to finish every half chance they get. I do think he suits their system quite well, though. He is good arriving at the back post. You know, I can imagine like Munoz back post cross to Johnson if he's playing off the left, of course. I don't think he's clean. Oh, maybe I'm just chatting breeze then, but he scores goals, tap-ins. I just don't find him a fantastic finisher. I don't know. Maybe it'll work out. I think it's probably a good deal for both. Like 35 million is pretty cheap for a Prem-proven player, but I also think that there is a lot that he could do better, and it is still quite expensive. Where's your dialect from? Asking from a non-Brit. I don't really have an accent. I would say my accent is southern. So like, I think if you were from the UK, you'd probably still find it difficult to place my accent. But I think it's very clear that I'm not from the north of the country. So I'd say I'm from the south of England is my dialect. But I'm not particularly posh. I don't sound like I'm from Essex, which is where I'm actually from. I probably sound more like I'm from like Cambridge way, I would guess. But yeah, my dialect is really difficult to pick up. Just south of England. Rumblings on Reddit of Cunha out. It would absolutely kick off if that was the case. That would be a disaster. Like, genuine disaster. Lingo guesser would be fun. Do you think United will go after a new centre-back like Schlotterbeck in January? Maybe. The thing is, if we've got all of our centre-backs fit, I'm not saying it's not a position to improve, but De Ligt, Maguire, Yoro, Lissandro, Heaven, Luke Shaw, if we're playing a back three, like, we have enough centre-backs. They're just struggling for fitness. So, yeah. As someone who lives near Cambridge, I would agree, Ross. Yeah, it's difficult to play. Like, I don't genuinely think anyone would say Essex if you didn't know I was from Essex. Are there any GO YouTubers you'd want to collaborate with? Yeah, probably Zigzag, Oscar. He's content I watch all the time. Like, I've watched pretty much every Oscar video ever. So he'd be the one. And I'd love to be coached by Oscar. Like, I feel like that'd be really interesting. Simply because I've seen Oscar coach people like Jack and Zerka, but I don't think he's coached anyone at my level, to my knowledge. Like, because my level is very interesting. I'm probably like between Master 2 and Master 1. So I think he'd be giving me... It wouldn't be like general advice. It would be very specific metas, polls, things to pick up on, which might be an interesting video. I might reach out to him in the new year. I've chatted to him a couple of times before, but I don't want to be really like, please let me feature on your channel. So we'll see. I mean, as a Man United fan, I'd rather we spend our money on a bloody midfielder I desperately need. Like, Elliot Anderson in our team would be sensational. Okay, so who are we starting with? We're starting with probably Newcastle is the team we want to see the most, right? What's your thoughts on picking a decent FPL player, i.e. Bowen, but not wanting them to do well in real life, as I'm a Leeds fan? I think if you want to be good at FPL, you have to detach what you want in real life from FPL. Unless you just focus on enjoyment. If you just focus on enjoyment, don't pick players you don't want to own. But if you just want to do the best you possibly can, then I think you need to detach them, personally. Collaborate with Jack Suggs at Geography. Yeah, I would love to do so. I don't know how we'd collaborate, because we're at, like, the levels we're at. I'm not as good as like an Oscar, but I'm not the same level as Jack. So I'm not sure how that collaboration would look, but yeah, I'd be interested in doing that. Are you standing? Yes, I am, and I'm busting for a week, so I'll probably go as soon as we get the lineups done. Right, Hall starts, Miley starts, Wisser does start. It is Voltemada on the bench, and Gordon does start. So if you have Anthony Gordon, you are loving life. If you have Voltemada, you are not loving life. Next team then, let us check Chelsea. Chelsea's team is not posted. Okay, we'll go Bournemouth. Bournemouth. Bournemouth's team is it not Chelsea Bournemouth? Why is no one posting their teams? Okay, we'll try Everton. Yeah, Keane's not in the squad. Grealish on the bench. Okay, so the rumours were correct. Keane not in the squad. Grealish on the bench. Fair play to those accounts, you know. That is a fair play. Patterson's back. Tarkovsky, O'Brien, Mikalenko. Okay. McNeil, Barry. That's not a great looking team there for Everton. Brighton. Welbeck starts. Minte does start. Van Hecker starts. Verbruggen starts. That's a pretty strong team. Matoma on the bench. Jorginho Ruta on the bench. John starts. Igor Jesus starts. Everything else, as you'd expect, I think there. Savona on the bench is interesting. Who's starting left back then? Or right back, sorry. Zinchenko with Williams. Okay, so Savona on the bench may be slightly interesting there. Who else do we want to see? Should we go back to Chelsea and Bournemouth now? Are they going to have posted their teams? João Pedro on the bench again. Neto on the bench. Reece James on the bench. Oh, wow. Okay, Chelsea are the big rotation side so far. Reece James benched. Tosin benched. Neto benched. João Pedro benched. It's actually Delap, Garnacho, Palmer and Estevao with Enzo and Caicedo in midfield. So that's probably the most rotated team we've seen. And then Bournemouth. Yep, Semenyo does start. Krupi back on the bench with Evan Nilsson starting, Cliver, Tavernier, Petrovic, Senesi starts. Nothing too surprising there then in that team, I would say. Cool. Is that it then? Have we looked at everyone there then? Burnley, I suppose, is the only team we haven't looked at. Let's make sure there's nothing hugely outrageous about the Burnley team. Oh, Estev. Estev does play then. Estev, Dubravka. Yeah, I think they're the only two players that most people would own. So there we go. I think that's it then. Maybe West Ham. Just double check Paquetá and Bowen start. Yeah, Paquetá, Bowen. Everything else looks pretty okay. Somerville on the bench. Cool. There we have it then, guys. So, that's my team. Hopefully we get green arrows all around and hopefully not too many players miss out. Of course, the Arsenal, Villa and Man United Wolves teams won't be out for another 45 minutes, so I'm not going to stay for that. But I appreciate you all very much. Mum, I love you very much. Good luck, everyone. Love to you, Ross and Pickle. Thank you very much. And I'll catch you probably on Friday for the next bit of content. We'll wait for the game to take place and then I'll obviously have a team selection video. And then we've got another deadline coming thick and fast. So yeah, thank you for the support. This will be my final bit of content in 2025. So thank you so much for all of the streams, all of the love and support in 2025. I appreciate it very much. I will see you in 2026. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.